soul going crazy.
Who name you coming in? By who power? Is what? It's the Spirit of God. See, the Spirit of God is omnipotent, and it works on you. It'll work on your ass, and I can be far, far away, because it's considered conscience. You know, they ain't feeling my. I keep it all lawful and legal. Anybody resisting, goddamn my ass kissing. Who name you coming in? By who power? Is what? It's the Spirit of God. See, the Spirit of God is omnipotent, and it works on you. It'll work on your ass, and I can be far, far away, because it's considered conscience. You know, they ain't feeling my. I keep it all lawful and legal. Anybody resisting, goddamn my ass kissing.
Peace, peace, peace,
Who
peace.
name you coming in?
Peace to the tribes, peace to the chat.
Is what? It's the Spirit of God. See, the Spirit of God is omnipotent, and it works on you. It'll work on your ass, and I can be far, far away, because it's considered conscience. You know, they ain't feeling my. I keep it all lawful and legal. Anybody resisting, goddamn my ass kissing. Man, no matter how you come with me, if you down doing what I'm talking about doing, lawyers and get this book open, trained in these words to get the poor, the fatherless, and the widows up out of them penitentiaries. You down with that? You ain't down with that? Shut your goddamn ass up. Give me a next caller. Motherfucker, ain't no corrupt communication came out my mouth. You know what the corrupt communication is? That's when you talk about the devil. He the devil. Your motherfucking communication is corrupted. Whatever, then I'm wrong. You got me now. Oh, you figured me out. You fucking income fucking poop. You figured me out. You got me red-handed. I can't see none of you publishing peace. Fuck what you talking about.
I told my class the other day, wouldn't it really be so different if you came to this class out of a desire to learn? You know, just out of the pure desire to learn. And that we didn't relate to each other as student and teacher, but as people sharing knowledge and information.
That's right. Peace, peace, peace. You already know what it is. Too high for pigeons to fly. We walk on the water, live in the sky.
I don't have to take the role
Try.
of an authority over you. And that I don't have to motivate your education through fear.
We're just gonna get everybody a little time to get in here. Whoever rocking with us, let's go.
I want to know why you was at home, and I want to know now. I said something to my teacher, Mrs. Danvers, and what? I told her that George Washington was a white racist. What? Well, he was, Mama. He owned slaves. I said something to my teacher, Mrs. Danvers, and what? I told her that George Washington was a white racist. What?
Well, he was, Mama. He owned slaves.
You come off calling the father of our country a racist. Where'd you pick up such trash? In the library. In the book. In the library. In the book. In the library. In the book.
In the library. In the book. In the book. In the library. In the book. In the book. In the book. In the book.
I was just telling it like it is. I was just telling it like it is. I was just telling it like it is. I was just telling it like it is.
Peace to the chat, peace to the
I
tribe.
want you to go right back to that school. I'll
Yeah, got something heavy for y'all tonight.
You got no call to be disrespectful to George Washington because he owned slaves. He's a great man. He was our first president. He wasn't our president. He was their president. He wasn't our president. He was their president. He was their president. He was their president. He was their president.
How many people we call it that repeated this time and time again? That the function of education is not jobs. That is not the primary function. Children and people are educated. The primary function for education is to advance the interests of a people and to protect their interests, to secure their survival. Their survival. To secure their survival. With the right water.
Everybody hear me okay? Let me see some bows and arrows in the live, you know what I'm talking about, in the chat. Everybody hear me okay? You know what I'm talking about? We're gonna get it going. Got something real fire to talk about, man. I wanted to put a video together, but it's so much shit. You know what I mean? And we just gonna do it like this. You know what I'm talking about?
Are you in India?
Yes. Oh, really?
Oh,
I thought you were a black guy. Hey.
Are you in India?
Yes. Oh, really?
Oh,
I thought you were a black guy. Hey. You're Indian? Yeah. Oh, come on, man. Yeah, you gotta
What
be
kind of
kidding me.
Indian are you?
Like Tonto Indian?
Shinnecock Indian.
Really? You're Shinnecock?
Yes.
Oh,
Are you in India?
Yes. Oh, really?
Oh,
I thought you were a black guy.
Hey.
Oh,
I thought you were a black guy.
Hey.
Are you in India?
Yes. Oh, really?
Oh,
I thought you were a black guy.
Hey.
New name you coming in. By who power? Is what? It's the Spirit of God. See, the Spirit of God is omnipotent. And it works on you, it'll work on your ass and I can be far, far away. Because it's considered conscience, you know. They ain't feeling my, I keep it all lawful and legal. Anybody resisting, goddamn my ass kissing. Man, no matter how you come with me, is you down doing what I'm talking about doing? Lawyers and get this book open. Trained in these words to get the poor, the fatherless, and the widows up out of them penitentiary. Are you down with that? You ain't down with that? Shut your goddamn ass up. Give me the next caller. New name you coming in. By who power? Is what? It's the Spirit of God. See, the Spirit of God is omnipotent. And it works on you, it'll work on your ass and I can be far, far away. Because it's considered conscience, you know. They ain't feeling my, I keep it all lawful and legal. Anybody resisting, goddamn my ass kissing.
That's right.
Man, no matter how you come with me, is you down doing what I'm talking about doing? Lawyers and get this book open. Trained in these words to get the poor, the fatherless, and the widows up out of them penitentiary. Are you down with that? You ain't down with that? Shut your goddamn ass up. Give me the next caller. Motherfucker, ain't no corrupt communication came out of my mouth. You know what the corrupt communication is? That's when you talk about the devil. He's a devil. Your motherfucking communication is corrupted. Whatever, then I'm wrong. You got me now. Oh, you figured me out. You fucking income fucking poop. You figured me out. You got me red-handed. I can't see none of you publishing piece. Who name you coming in? By who power? Is what? It's the Spirit of God. See, the Spirit of God is omnipotent. And it works on you, it'll work on your ass and I can be far, far away. Because it's considered conscience, you know. They ain't feeling my, I keep it all lawful and legal. Anybody resisting, goddamn my ass kissing. Man, no matter how you come with me, is you down doing what I'm talking about doing? Lawyers and get this book open. Trained in these words to get the poor, the fatherless, and the widows up out of them penitentiary. Are you down with that? You ain't down with that? Shut your goddamn ass up. Give me the next caller. communication came out of my mouth. You know what the corrupt communication is? That's when you talk about the devil. He the devil. Your motherfucking communication is corrupted. Whatever, then I'm wrong. You got me now. You got me now. You got me now. Oh, you figured me out. You fucking income fucking poop. You figured me out. You got me red-handed. I can't see none of you publishing peace. Fuck what you talking about.
I told my class the other day, wouldn't it really be so different if you came to this class out of a desire to learn? You know, just out of the pure desire to learn. And that we didn't relate to each other as student and teacher, but as people sharing knowledge and information.
Peace to everybody in the chat. You already know what it is. Hawk Talk Live. I'm going in.
I don't have to take the role of an authority over you. And that I don't have to motivate your education through fear.
That's right. There you go.
I want to know why you were sent home, and I want to know now. I said something to my teacher, Mrs. Danvers, and what? I told her that George Washington was a white racist. What? Well, he was, Mama. He owned slaves. I said something to my teacher, Mrs. Danvers, and what? I told her that George Washington was a white racist. What?
Well, he was, Mama. He owned slaves.
You come off calling the father of our country a racist. Where'd you pick up such trash? In the library. In the book. In the library. In the book. In the library. In the book.
In the library. In the book. In the book. In the library. In the book. In the book. In the book. In the book.
I'm just telling it like it is. I'm just telling it like it is. I'm just telling it like it is. I'm just telling it like it is.
Tonight we're going to be dealing with the rituals of the Underground Railroad.
I want you to go right back to that school and apologize. What? Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. What? Tell me the truth.
Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth.
Something real heavy, man.
You got no call to be disrespectful to George Washington because he owned slaves. He's a great man. He was our first president. He wasn't our president. He was their president. He wasn't our president. He was their president. He was their president. He was their president. He was their president.
How many people recall that I've repeated this time and time again? That the function of education is not jobs. That is not the primary function. Children and people are educated. The primary function for education is to advance the interests of a people and to protect their interests, to secure their survival. Their survival. To secure their survival.
With the fire and water and, you know.
Are you an Indian?
Yes. Oh, really?
Oh,
I thought you were a black guy. Hey.
Are you an Indian?
Yes. Oh, really?
Oh,
I thought you were a black guy. Hey. You're Indian? Yeah. Oh, come on, man. You got
what
me.
kind of Indian are you?
Like Tonto Indian? Shinnecock Indian. Really? You're a Shinnecock? Yes. Oh,
Are you an Indian?
yes. Oh, really?
Oh,
I thought you were a black guy. Hey.
Oh,
I thought you were a black guy. Hey.
Are you an Indian?
Yes. Oh, really?
Oh,
I thought you were a black guy. Hey.
Notice that hidden hand right there. See the little Indian in the middle?
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth. All I'm offering is the truth.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth.
Nothing.
The hidden hand. Look how little they are. They being indoctrinated. They all slaves. They being indoctrinated. Early. Snake religion. Early. We're going to talk about it. Rituals of the Underground Railroad. African American mysteries. I just found out a whole lot of shit. I'm about to share it. Y'all know how I rock. It ain't gonna take too long.
Who name you coming in? By who power? Is what? It's the Spirit of God. See, the Spirit of God is omnipotent, and it works on you. It'll work on your ass, and I can be far, far away.
That's right.
It's considered conscience, you know. Ain't nothing feeling my. I keep it all lawful and legal. Anybody resisting, goddamn my ass kissing. Man, no matter how you come with me, if you down doing what I'm talking about doing, lawyers and get this book open, trained in these words to get the poor, the fatherless, and the widows up out of them penitentiaries. If you down with that, you ain't down with that, shut your goddamn ass up.
That's right.
Give me the next caller. Motherfucker, ain't no corrupt communication came out my mouth. You know what the corrupt communication is? That's when you talk about the devil. He the devil. Your motherfucking communication is corrupted. Whatever, then I'm wrong. You got me now. Oh, you figured me out. You fucking income fucking poop. You figured me out. You got me red-handed. I can't see none of you publishing, Pete. Fuck what you talking about.
Like I told my class the other day, wouldn't it really be so different if you came to this class out of a desire to learn? You know, just out of the pure desire to learn. And that we didn't relate to each other as student and teacher, but as people sharing knowledge and information.
So this Booker T. Washington autobiography, Little Booker, a favorite with his master, is allowed to peep into the parlor of the big house.
I don't have to take the role.
This is autobiography.
New name you coming in.
You know what I'm talking about? Printed at Tuskegee. The Hidden Hand. The Hidden Hand. Let's talk about it. Go back.
By who power? Is what? It's the Spirit of God. See, the Spirit of God is omnipotent, and it works on you. It'll work on your ass, and I can be far, far away, because it's considered conscience, you know. Ain't nothing feeling my. I keep it all lawful and legal. Anybody resisting, goddamn my ass kissing. Man, no matter how you come with me, if you down doing what I'm talking about doing, lawyers and get this book open, trained in these words to get the poor, the fatherless, and the widows up out of them penitentiaries. You down with that? You ain't down with that? Shut your goddamn ass up. Give me the next caller.
All right, this is what we got. That beat fire though. Let's turn it down a little bit. All right. We're gonna let that beat go crazy though in the background. You gotta have a drum. You know what I'm talking about? This is what we're gonna share though. Let's see. Peace to everybody. I ain't gonna be looking in the chat because it's a distraction. You know what I'm saying? So y'all already know I rock with you. If you love me, I love you more. And if you don't love me, I feel sorry for you. You know what I'm talking about? So check this out. So I was reading and studying, man. You know what I do. Big Hawkin, you know what I'm talking about? So I came across this right here. And you know, I'm gonna keep it all the way 1,000 with the research. All right, this the general plan was freedom, a Negro secret order on the Underground Railroad. It's from, I hate clicking off of this shit because they be like not letting me back on there and all this shit. Maybe I should have did that. But you know, we got to get some background on the author. You know what I'm saying? Before we even go into all that. We're going to pause the music. Free shout out for the nigga who made the beat. All right, so Catherine Dupree Lumpkin was an American writer from Macon, Georgia. She was born on December 22nd, 1897. To Annette Carolyn Morris and William Lumpkin. Her father was a Civil War veteran between 1912 1915, blah, 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 descending from a slave-holding family. All right, so we already know what kind of time she on, you know what I'm saying, when she wrote this. But like I be telling people all the time when I do my research, you know, I'm always conscious of the angle that people coming from, you know what I'm talking about? Because everybody got an angle, shawty. You better believe that, you know what I'm talking about? Everybody got an angle. Now, this is the point I want to get to, and this is how I, in my understanding, I think I get her angle. It says in her autobiography, if you see where I'm at on the screen on the bottom paragraph, Lumpkin describes her shock about learning that her all-white chapter of the Young Women's Christian Association, yeah, you see it, YWCA, would be addressed by a black woman named Miss Jane Arthur. She later said that the heavens had not fallen, nor the earth parted asunder to swallow us up in this unheard of transgression. So this lady, for lack of better terms, you know, I'm trying to keep it all the way, you know, smooth and groovy on here for the late night, you know. And like, you know, I had some people comment that they be having youngsters, you know, learning off of us. So I'm gonna strive to, you know, restrain all the extra hood shit. Now, anyway, it says she compared it to the biblical story from the book of Samuel, blah, 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 defied the law by touching the sacred tabernacle. So basically, she just so racist. You know what I'm saying? She think this Young Women's Christian Association. So she probably a brainwashed white lady too. You know what I'm saying? Or she could just be, you know, part of the snake religion, because part of what they do is they keep bullshit brewing, you know what I'm saying? Keep different sides going at each other, putting everybody on the chessboard, you know, the Hegelian dialectic. You can check that, you know, on your own time. That's a whole nother video. If you know what that's about, then you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then you need to go and do some research on that, and then you'll understand a lot of what goes on in the society around us. You know what I'm talking about, and how things are orchestrated. But anyway, moral of the story is this lady is a racist. All right, so I wanted to make sure I pointed that out before we started reading her book. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I be saying. Like, you can't just be reading these books, man, and just, damn, what was this? They ganked me for it. You can't just be reading these books and, you know, just taking this shit like, because it's in a book, that it's law. You know what I'm saying? Because these people be full of shit. But let's get to it. Oh, they took the book. Look, I told you when I hit that, I knew that's gonna be on that bullshit. We gotta go back now. Sorry, y'all. Boom. All right, so y'all see it right there, though. Y'all see where I'm getting it from. You know what I'm saying? Supposedly a good source. Daily provides context for current events using scholarship found in JSTOR, digital library of academic journals, books, and other materials. We publish articles grounded in peer-reviewed research and provide free access to that research for all of our readers. All right. So if this some bullshit, well, you know, then you got to go talk to your master about it. All right. Clark Atlanta University. You see what I'm talking about? There's an article in the Phylon, 1960, volume 28, number 1, first quarter, 1967, pages 63 to 77. All right. Boom. But now let's not forget that this racist lady from a slaveholding family wrote this, all right? But see, this is how we're going to discover her angle on why she even did this, or from my point of view, you know what I mean? And I'm going to give you my point of view now, which is I think that she's just a hater. You know what I'm saying? That she hating on niggas so bad that she want to bring up, I feel like this was an article just for her to hate on the nigga. So she snitched. And what she did was she snitched on the snitch. You know what I mean? She pulled up the article from she referenced these articles from, what is it, Detroit. Hold on. Let's find it. We'll get to it because we're going to read this whole thing. From the Detroit Post, May 15th, 1870, and Detroit Tribune, January 17th, 1886. And these are interviews with George the Baptiste and William Lambert, who are abolitionists. And I'm going to just show you, how bizarre this whole thing is that goes on around us. All right, so let's read and see what it has to say. The general plan was freedom, a Negro secret order on the Underground Railroad. I'm going to check the live chat real quick just to make sure everybody hearing me all right. You know what I'm talking about? And everything good. Everybody hearing me all right, man? Let me get a tribe or something in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Tribe. Let me get a tribe in the chat if everybody hearing me all right before I start. I want to start reading all this and going crazy. And ain't nobody, you know what I mean? Okay, we got one. And I don't know if I have any moderators in here right now, so I had to give me. It's every man for himself, every Indian for himself. You know what I'm talking about? Oh yeah, I see y'all in there tripping. All right, well, fuck them. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's do it. It says the general plan was freedom, a Negro secret order on the Underground Railroad. 2 accounts of a secret organization existing in the Underground Railroad have been found, both telling of an order founded by free Negroes, which was active in behalf of escaped slaves. Now, this is where it get crazy, bro. And I'm going to tell you, one of my, we'll say regular homeboys, all the niggas around me woke, but it's a lot of brothers that I got love for who, wouldn't consider themselves scholars, don't do a lot of research, but it's just in our DNA to just, be able to hawk out like this. So I'm reading this and my brother say, hold on, man. What year is that book? You know what I'm saying? I think we just saw it was 1967 or something like that. And he was like, it says African American. I thought Jesse Jackson came up with African American. And I had read this whole article, had planned a whole build, and had missed that one small detail. You know what I'm saying? That I was like, damn. So then I had to reread the whole article again to see how, in what context was African American being used. You know what I mean? And had this lady used that term anywhere else? But no, she referred to everybody as Negroes. You know what I'm talking about? And we're going to get into it. And I'm about to show y'all the trick. And this how you're going to know that it's all snake religion and this shit still going on. You know what I'm talking about? Getting the hand shit. And it gets deep. So now we really have to ask ourselves, have we found the origin of the term African American? You know what I'm talking about? Because this 1967 and the lady writing the article still calling us Negroes. So check it out. It says, 2 accounts of a secret organization existing in Underground Railroad days have been found, both telling of an order founded by free Negroes, which was active in behalf of escaped slaves. The order was called by several names. In one place, African American Mysteries, and sometimes Order of the Men of Oppression, and in another, Order of Emigration. While the sources of the accounts are 2 different men, William Lambert and George the Baptiste, the men were close associates in the city of Detroit in the 1840s and 1850s. The earlier account, a paragraph or 2 in a long narrative of the Underground Railroad, appeared in 1870 in the Detroit Post. So this her talking about, you know what I'm saying, her article, and she she basically, letting us know where her primary sources are, or whatever they call it. And I guess it would be a primary source because we're gonna get to the article. Your Big Hawk pulled it up, but it's the interview. It's the actual interview with these abolitionists. You know what I'm saying? And prominent African Americans. If you look them up right now, go type in William Lambert and click on Wikipedia. I bet it say prominent African American. Type in George the Baptiste in Wikipedia. It's gonna say prominent African American. You know what I'm saying? And I'm about to show you why these niggas prominent. You know what I'm saying? And how and we just seen how Jesse Jackson come up with African American when we looking right here in this book, and it says the order was called by several names. In one place, African American Mysteries. This was the name of a secret order. You know what I'm saying? So, and this secret order going back to what the interview say in 1840s. It appeared in 1870 in the Detroit Post. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. It's a whole lot of shit. So I'm gonna try to keep it as concise as I can. You know what I mean? But I'm big hawking. You know what I'm talking about? So check this shit out right here. Its source without a doubt was George the Baptiste, since the article as a whole reflects his reminiscence. The second account, more extensive in detail, came 15 years later in the Detroit Tribune. This time the story was from William Lambert in a lengthy interview about underground days. So now William Lambert, he give his article, you know what I'm saying, after the other, you know what I'm saying, Indian, abolitionist, so-called Negro. After he died, then he give his interview, and oh boy, if I remember correctly, he all sickly and shit on his interview. You know what I'm saying? When the newspaper interviewing him, so it feel like he just like fuck it, I'm just gonna tell. You know what I'm saying? And even though this a racist ass lady, she just trying to tell on nigga like, look, they told about y'all secret order. I don't know why you trust them, because she really got a racist angle. But you know how the Most High do, he turns shit upside down on these demons. You know what I'm saying? So now it's gonna benefit us because we're gonna be big woke. It's gonna be a whole bunch of people who watch this and they not gonna like this shit. But you know how I feel. Tribe. All right, now check it out, because I want y'all to understand how important it is to know how shit is being orchestrated behind closed doors to be fucking with us on a regular basis, my nigga. And I'm not finna fake like it. I'm not finna ride no kind of waves. You know what I'm saying? I ain't on that. You know what I mean? So check it out. It say, this time the story was from William Lambert in a lengthy interview about the underground days. This second description was explicit and detailed. That's a whole bunch of blah, blah, blah shit. You know what I'm saying? Order operated. All right, now this is how I found it out. All right, we're gonna go right here. We're gonna skip down about a paragraph, because when I was doing the study, if anybody is watching us, a subscriber, if you haven't checked out, what is it, like the thumbnail say St. Louis Freedom School, and it's where I'm talking about the Underground Railroad stop here in St. Louis. And for all y'all who be like, don't tell people where you are. Hey, look, my nigga, I ain't scared of nothing breathing, my nigga. I worship the creator, not the creations. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no tough guy. I just really don't fear nothing walking around here. You know what I mean? Like, that's not me. You know what I mean? So anyway, so I'm talking about the Underground Railroad station here. And as I'm doing that study, I keep seeing conductor. You know, I watched a big bruh Dane video. Shout out to Dane, you know what I'm saying? And he was talking about conductor, Harriet Tubman. That's what, I ain't even gonna lie, that's what sent me down the rabbit hole, because it said Harriet Tubman was a conductor. And bro was like, well, who else are the other conductors? And I'm like, damn, who are the other conductors? So then I start researching. Boom, I find Mary Meacham and what's her son name? Her husband name, John Barry Meacham, St. Louis Freedom Crossing. You know what I'm saying? So now we tapping in, we seeing that. But I figured out from that study, because I'm telling you how you got to study and connect the dots, and why a lot of people be talking like they know shit and they ain't studied enough, bro. So anyway, I'm connecting the dots, and I noticed that, okay, they let her help the soldiers, but they only let her help the Union soldiers. You know what I'm saying? And those was, the Union soldiers was fighting against the Indians. You know what I'm saying? Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, or anybody, you know what I mean? Because this is the understanding I have. And based on that understanding, I had to question whose side she was on. You know what I'm talking about? So because they paint these pictures, and you got to realize, you know, they manufacture these heroes. So as I'm understanding how our heroes are being manufactured, I'm questioning everybody who so-called made history. You know what I'm saying? Who's making sure that these people are remembered and why? You know what I'm talking about? So I'm doing the whole knowledge on she only helping the Union soldiers, just like what is it called, the roles that they got that you can do for the genealogy shit. What is it called? What is the military roles called? I can't remember, man. But anyway, put it in the chat, man, for the people who don't know. But they only list the Union soldiers. So now we already know that everything Union is USA. You know what I'm saying? So we already know that they with the fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? For lack of better terms. All right. So now I have to question the whole abolitionist movement. You know, I have to question this now because everybody looking like, you know what I mean? Like you flying the flag from the other side. So, and now we get to this, you know what I mean? 2 more conductors. Here go 2 more conductors. You know what I'm saying? I done found William Lambert and George the Baptiste. It's some more too, but like I'm digging on everybody. And I'm personally, after we do this build, you already gonna see what the whole Underground Railroad was about and why these people are being remembered in history. And I ain't trying to take nothing away from them or their descendants. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? But I got to keep it 100 with the people, you know, because at the end of the day, us knowing who we are, you know, is a small part of it. You know what I mean? Because what caused us to be separated from ourselves is being separated from the Most High. Let's just keep it 1,000, bro. I don't care how nobody feel about it. That's what it is, man. Because all this has already happened to us. You know what I'm saying? So we got to look at it from that perspective. You know what I mean? Like, because we're constantly evolving. We don't evolve physically, we evolve mentally. You know what I mean? And since we evolving, we got to be conscious of the fact that, damn, we got in a fucked up situation. You know what I mean? And how did that happen? How is it that we don't know who we are? You know what I mean? Because if you get separated from yourself because you separated from the source of yourself. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna expose how these people have been put into place to separate us from ourselves, bro. You know what I mean? And talk all this old left shit, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, bro, you know how I'm rocking, man. All praise due to the Most High. Now, let's get back to the thing, man. You know, I'm lit like a candlestick, so I'm over here doing what I do. I'll start here. It says, like many episodes out of that strange time, this one is shrouded in a great deal of mystery, with some claims contradictory and others incredible. Yet in basic features, the narratives agree that a secret organization was formed by free Negroes with the principal aim of aiding escaped slaves by conducting them from bondage into free territory, that the order operated for a decade or more, that men were initiated by elaborate ritual, and some became conductors on the Underground Railroad. Now that conductor, see, I also saw that native what's the book we did? What's his name? Arthur Parker, 32nd Degree Mason, Native American Freemasonry, nigga. You know what I'm saying? The American Indian Freemasonry book. Is that what it is? But I think I put Native American because, you know, he wasn't looking like he was really with the whole Aboriginal program, clearly, because he on this snake religion shit. And that's what I want to build on. Because like we finding out all this Mayan shit, I don't want niggas to go back to know, you know what I'm saying, thinking, oh, you know, like we worship this and we worship that. Look, bro, this is for us to know our history, but understand we evolve. We evolving. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget we flew up out of there. We in Georgia, you know what I'm saying? And we like all the American Indians, from everything I read, 1700s, they said they worshiped the one Most High. They believed in the Most High Creator. They believed in evil spirits. They believed in good spirits. You know what I'm saying? They believed in judgment. They believed in the afterlife. So at the end of the day, that's the foundation. And at the end of the day, bro, if you don't have a spiritual foundation and something to give you some type of moral compass, then you're just gonna be out here on this fuckery. You know what I'm saying? So, and they know it. All right. So now it says, the order operated for a decade or more. The men were initiated by elaborate ritual, and some became conductors on the Underground Railroad. That its membership was large and admitted few whites, and that it bore some relation to John Brown's plan to bring freedom somehow to the slaves of the South. Man, this shit is so deep, man. Let me just read. It say, there is this to be said for the sources of these accounts. Most of our knowledge of the Underground Railroad came from recollections of participants in the movement, the hundreds on the line called agents and conductors who housed and fed the fugitives in their homes along the routes, who transported them in dozens of ingenious ways, keeping them hidden from prying eyes as they moved them along, sometimes hundreds of miles. Men such as these rarely kept written records. The safety of the fugitive depended on their discretion, as did their own freedom to continue their work. Once the Federal Fugitive Slave Act of 1850 became law, the penalties were severe for giving aid to escaped slaves. Let me put, hold on, let me see if I can do it. Oh, well, never mind. All right. Sorry, y'all, I got distracted. It says, once the Federal Fugitive Slave Act of 1850 became law, the penalty were severe for giving aid to escaped slaves. The use of reminiscence presents many problems, even when informants are numerous and some accounts can be checked. As Wilbert Siebert sought to check his materials in the Underground Railroad, and then it gives the reference to that down here. You know, I'm talking about 1899. 1886, 1870. This shit go back, bro. All right, I just did that. You screenshot and do all the extra scholarly shit you need to do. It said their use is made more difficult when informants are few and the tale is one of a secret organization. The reminiscence with which I deal, telling of a Negro secret order. Now that's just to go back to how we was talking about the African American Mysteries was the name of the secret order. You know what I'm saying? One of the names of the secret order. Now you see what she say. The reminiscence with which I deal, telling of a Negro secret order. She still ain't saying African American, because that still ain't nothing to say back then. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a term yet. This how you know where these niggas came from who feeding you this bullshit. It said the reminiscence with which I deal, telling of a Negro secret order in existence in Underground Railroad times, were the recollections of only two men. It is true they were recorded soon after the events. Hardly 10 years had passed when de Baptiste told his story. Yet more than recollections were an essential need, and I clung to the hope that documents might be found. In 1886, Lambert brought out certain documents. The reporter who interviewed him saw and handled these. I undertook a search on the chance that William Lambert's descendants might have preserved these papers, or that they had found their way to a library or collection. None of the documents have yet been found. I then turned my attention to the two men themselves, William Lambert and George de Baptiste. Was there independent evidence of their careers in those days? Were they indeed as active as they were sure they had been when in after years they looked back on the time? Were they perhaps well known in the white community? Were their names in the press? Were they anti-slavery figures? If answers to such questions had clear and positive substance, they should contribute something to an appraisal of the order. So like I said, don't forget, this is just some racist ass white lady who trying to snitch on niggas. So this is why she digging all in the shit. You know what I'm saying? This is why she being nosy. But I feel like even though she, you know what I'm saying, writing books and all this, I don't feel like she a part of it. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I say, this could just, man, they so fucking snaky. It's the snake religion. You know what I mean? But she could just be hating, and that's why she's snitching, because I'm like, damn, why is you telling on the whole operation? You know, but you know they be telling. It's neither Lambert nor de Baptiste was a native of Detroit. Lambert settled there in 1840, while de Baptiste arrived some 6 years later. Now, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I studied a whole bunch of this shit, you know what I'm saying, before I got to this article. So a lot of the things that are in the article, I was able to cross-reference beforehand, and that's why, you know, I felt like this was very concise as far as taking you on your own journey to find out, you know what I'm saying, what's up with this shit. You know what I mean? That's what it's up. We Hawkin, man. We in class together. They just let me read it. It say neither Lambert nor de Baptiste was a native of Detroit. Lambert settled there in 1840, while de Baptiste arrived at some 6 years later. Nor was either man a fugitive slave. Both belonged to that small company of Negroes in America in the early 19th century who were born free. Lambert's father, once a slave, had purchased his own freedom, while his mother had always been free. De Baptiste's parents had somehow gained their freedom by the time their son George was born. Now, we already know from that agent ass lady, You know what I'm saying? Because she say she a descendant of these people that they American Indians. This is what she say. You know what I'm talking about? But like I say, some of us are lost, and I'm gonna expose why, because I don't want you to be lost. You know what I'm saying? Young hawks. You know what I mean? I want you to be flying free, man, like the Most High created us to be. You did. Now, it say both men were born around 1815, Lambert in Trenton, New Jersey, to Baptiste near Fredericksburg, Virginia. Lambert received an excellent education at the hands of Quakers, as he told it. The Baptiste was likewise highly literate, although apparently in his case it was self-education. Now, see, these Quakers, they was part of the abolitionist movement. You know what I'm saying? And they some weirdos. I don't want to get too distracted with them. But here go they Jesus right here. You know what I'm saying? So, because I was asking myself, I'm like, well, maybe this was part of the evolution. Maybe niggas is really righteous and they just, looking for, some type of culture because they done lost their language and they want to be righteous. But no, they got this Transylvania looking ass savior that you telling the Indians they need to accept. So that's definitely out. You know what I'm saying? We just going, this somebody was hating on the Quakers. I think this like the church motherfuckers. But they was talking about how they be showing up butt naked and shaking and shit. This is where they get the name the Quakers. What it say? Where is this at? They had a lot of like the church people was against them hating. You know what I'm saying? But I really don't even trust when they be going against somebody. You know what I'm saying? Look how they got the pilgrims. They talking about free will and all this above ordinances. So they saying that they like savages. You know what I'm saying? But the church think everybody's savages. But see, this is the weirdo snake religion shit that they own, and the same shit niggas will be trying to teach you now. The inner light. Confidence in the inner light. Quaker belief in the inner light. You know what I'm talking about? It's that weirdo shit, man. I don't care what y'all say. Yeah, we got light within, but they ain't talking about the same thing, man. You really got to do a lot of research and read a lot of the materials. You know what I'm saying? To know what these people on. All right, let's get back over here, man. She's spilling the beans. That's William Lambert right there. Yeah, Indian too.
Peace.
Peace. You in here, Ock?
I'm just letting you know. I'm listening to you.
Okay,
I
it's all
got
good.
you.
Just
Okay.
tap in whenever, man. I got my brother on here with me. You know what I'm saying? Just in case somebody need to calm me down and tell me something objective or tell me if I'm tripping or question something, just somebody else, man. Because like I say, I don't think I'm top dog in none of this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning like everybody else. We're going to get to that right there. That's the article from the newspaper. That shit going to fuck
I
you.
definitely see what you're saying about that analysis. That shit becoming trendy. It seems like.
Yeah, it's trendy as hell. You know what I'm saying? That's
I've
what
been hearing that a lot.
everybody on. But they not even knowing, you know what I'm saying, where it's really coming from. Okay, I see you got it together. You know what I'm saying? We got the Ox Spade Ripper, you know what I'm talking about? St.
Yeah,
Lulu and me. We
stupid.
so let me get these people the screen back, man. Get back to this. Oh, check it out though. It gets deeper. All right, now I say it says, not surprising that these men were drawn to Detroit. The city was expanding rapidly at that time with a small but growing free Negro community from 150 Negroes in 1830 to over 1,400 when the Civil War came. Occupations of Negroes reflected this growth. In 1830, they were largely laboring in personal service trades, barbers, hairdressers, pastry cooks, boatmen, teamsters, laundresses. But by 1845, some small businesses were appearing: shoemakers, cabinet makers, one clothing store, and one Negro tailor. No doubt William Lambert and one professional man was listed, a minister, probably W.C. Monroe, a Negro clergyman who was prominent in Underground Railroad work. The Baptiste, when he came, practiced first his trade of barber and later established a catering business. See, like I say, look, she telling all truth. So, I know she racist, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of these books, you gotta remember this shit. When you dealing with these old books, this wasn't meant for the Indians to read. Nobody knew, you know what I'm saying, that a nigga like me was gonna come through and be this thorough and be picking that shit apart. They didn't foresee that. because they too blinded by their own ignorance. You know what I'm talking about? So she telling you right here. Now, for one, she talking about it only had what the city was expanding rapidly. It say it only had from 150 Negroes in 1830. So all this slave shit going on, and it's only 150 niggas in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, what else? Anyway, so she talking about what's this say? 1830. 1830, the occupations of Negroes reflected this growth. In 1830, they were largely laboring in personal service trades. Barber, hairdresser, pastry cook, boatman, teamster, laundress. Everybody hustling, getting money. You know what I'm saying? It's 1830. Hold on, this is my sister right here. Hey, we live right now. Where you at?
It's a blessing. I'm at the back door.
All right, just go to the front so they can let you in. Somebody up.
All right, I'm gonna knock on the door. Hopefully they hear this because I got my shoes on. I don't want to walk to the front.
All right, peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings.
All right, my bad, y'all. You know, family first. All right, so let's go on. You know, because this just letting you see. You know, the lady tell us some truth. So I don't know what's up. You know what I mean? It say William Lambert and one professional man was listed: a minister, probably W.C. Monroe, a Negro clergyman who was prominent in Underground Railroad work, the Baptiste, when he came practice first his trade of barber and later established a catering business. All right, so these some of the first Indians in Detroit, but they Negroes and they assimilating. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand when they talking about these people. These is all the people that's like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna fall in. But like my Aqua's building with me, you gotta, you know, options was real slim on what, you know what I'm saying, how shit was going. Cause by now shit looking real grimy for niggas. Motherfuckers been coming over here 1,500, 1,600, 1,700, warring, killing your ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a baby and if you got a baby and a grandma and a great grandma, and y'all done, you know, survive these wars and all this bullshit, man. Y'all ain't trying to be banging it out with nobody. Motherfucker tell you, oh, well, y'all could go stay over there and you just pay us this, man. Somebody be like, okay, cool, bro. You know what I'm saying? And them people who was like, fuck it, man, we'll stay over there. That's our ancestors. You know what I'm saying? We still got the blood of them same warriors, but they was murking every nigga. You know what I'm saying? They was murking the warriors left and right. You know what I'm saying? It got to a point where niggas like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Just, you know, get the fuck up off of us. You know what I mean? And that's why the shit's still the way it is. But I want y'all to understand, man, motherfuckers been working against us, my nigga. Now peep this shit, because all this shit sound real fly. You know what I'm saying? But all of the elites, it's no different than right now, bro. All the niggas who's elite status, and we looking through history, oblivious to this. Hold on, man. Hold on. And we not even knowing that this shit's still going on. So hold on, man. Let me play this music real quick. I'm sorry, y'all. I'll be right back.
Comment your city in the chat room, everybody. Yo. Peace to the tribes. All right, we back in here, man. I apologize. Now, let's get back into this, man. Yep.
Let's get this screen share back up. If at any point you want to interject, you know, add anything or whatever, you know what it is, man. All right, let's see. Let's get back to the reading. It said there was a further strong reason why Detroit would appeal to them. Both Lambert and the Baptiste, when they settled in Detroit, were already fired with anti-slavery zeal. then why would they not seek out this border city, a main escape route for fleeing slaves, and with a Negro population, small though it was, that had shown itself militant in behalf of the fugitives? One notorious case appears on the record. It had happened several years before Lambert came, but without any doubt, young Lambert heard the story when he made his first exploratory visit to Detroit. The incident itself was not unusual for the times. A man and wife named Blackburn, fugitive slaves from Kentucky, had settled in Detroit, assuming they were safe. But when the master arrived and laid claim to the couple, his claim was upheld by the justice of the peace. The Blackburns were arrested, lodged in jail, and brought before the judge to be delivered to their owner. The Negro community was fiercely aroused, forming in crowds and sending delegations. It rescued the wife by subterfuge and then secured the man by sheer force of numbers, spiriting the couple away to safety into Canada. All right, so we're gonna skip down. Like I say, man, I'll put this the link to this article, you know what I mean, in the description or something in the comments for everybody so you can go check it out. This is like, let's fast forward a little bit, man. Well, I guess I do want y'all to really get it all, man. Let's go here. It says Lambert first saw Detroit 2 years before he moved there under circumstances indicative of his anti-slavery background. He had a Negro schoolmaster who was an abolitionist, and in 1838, when he was 23, he set out for Canada with his Quaker teacher to see at first-hand fugitive slave settlements there. All right, so they got the settlements over in Canada. You know what I'm saying? And then at the same time, the Indians that's going over there, they letting them be they fighting for the British and shit. You know what I mean? And what did it say it was? The order of emigration or some shit. You know what I mean? So we looking at it and you're like, oh, they helped free the slaves, blah, blah, blah. Boy, they turning these niggas into refugees, taking them off their land and sending their ass to Canada. What's emigrate? Out of. Leave one's own country. You know what I'm saying? In order to settle permanently in another. So y'all acting like these niggas doing something heroic by, you know what I'm saying? Moving motherfuckers off their land to Canada. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that was all they could do. No, nigga, that was not all they could do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna show you how scandalous these niggas really is, bro. And I'm putting that shit out here. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? These niggas is scandalous, dog. Talking about they heroes and shit. Man, fuck all that. These disbelievers ain't finna get no hero stripes around here. It may be that young Lambert's funds ran out. In any event, he was left in Buffalo while the schoolmaster proceeded on his way. So he done took this nigga.
Keith,
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Ock.
that you say, can you pull that up?
Yeah, yes, sir. Immigration. See, emigrate is the opposite of immigrate. You know what I'm saying? The Europeans immigrating here, and they got the Indians immigrating to Canada. You know what I mean? Talking about the Underground Railroad. Getting these niggas clean up out of here.
So it's two different words that's pronounced the same way?
Let's see.
Emigrate.
I think it's just the M and the M. You know what I'm saying?
What? Type this in. Type this in. IMMI.
Here you go.
Immigrate.
That's the same word, right?
Emigrate.
Damn near, you know, but it ain't. Listen, here go EM.
Emigrate.
Here go IM.
Immigrate.
So I guess they saying in the Latin, the IN is making it into, and the EX is out of.
Okay. All right.
You know what I mean?
So
like,
they playing word game.
Yeah, of course they are. But that's why it's easy to trick a nigga when they say the order of immigration. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
17, it say emigrate verb. 1778, a back formation from emigration, or else from Latin immigratus, past principle of immigrare, move away, depart from a place. From assimilated form of ex, out, ex, move. To change, go, move, to remove from one state to another state or territory, immigrate, X,
Wow.
out of. You know what I'm saying? So these niggas is not on our team, my nigga. You know, talk about like, I'm sorry,
They'll
Charlie.
change a letter and switch the whole meaning on you.
Yeah. Yeah, and when you reading it, if you ain't paying attention to these details, then you just get caught up in thinking you know what you read. You know what I'm saying? But the whole time these niggas talking about getting your ass up out of here. But you thinking
Right.
they mean like, oh, immigration, like they helping a nigga immigrate to, go to Canada. No, nigga, they getting your ass out of here, my nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let's go back. This page, we on page 415. That was right on page 1. What did it say? The order was called by several names. In one place, African American Mysteries, and sometimes Order of the Men of Oppression, and in another, Order of Immigration. Men of Oppression? You know what I'm saying? Like, who is you niggas? You know what I'm saying? Who call themselves the men of Order of the Men of Oppression? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
For real, it sound like you niggas some undercover gay niggas, but, we ain't even gonna, no disrespect to nobody.
Right.
But I just don't understand what is the order of man of oppression? Like either you're oppressing or you're being oppressed. You know what I'm saying? But these niggas ain't being oppressed because they living with the masters. They going to the schools. They wearing the suits. You know what I'm saying? Where this nigga picture at? These niggas ain't suffering. You see that? Photo shoots.
Right.
They got photo shoots. So all these niggas be talking. They got photo shoots. All right, we was on page 4. All right, so now he got left in Buffalo. He said, in the event, when he left in Buffalo while the schoolmaster proceeded on his way, he was left in Buffalo while the schoolmaster proceeded on his way. Lambert found a lake boat bound for Detroit, hired himself out as a cabin boy, and on reaching Detroit, remained for a while. Some 3 years later, he returned there to settle. This account, of course, is from Lambert's own story. If Lambert's activities had been confined to fugitives, nothing more than reminiscence might remain to tell that tale. Fortunately, his interests embrace public issues, and materials are extant relating to these. These documents begin in 1842, hardly 18 months later after Lambert reached Detroit, and items were found touching later years. Not many, but they suffice to show that William Lambert continued an active interest in the rights of his people and whether slave or free. And you can see, dude is all, what I mean? They got plaques and all types of prominent African American shit, you know what I'm saying? Because they was with the shit. So they gonna let these niggas be remembered, you know what I mean? Like they heroes, because they heroes to them, and they just convince us that they heroes. It say Lambert was 27, a tailor by trade, when the following item appeared in the Detroit Advertiser, January 24th, 1842. The colored people will hold a meeting this evening in the session room on the subject of the franchise. Elder Monroe R. Banks and William Lambert will address the meeting. M. Lightfoot is the chairman. In this meeting, a campaign was launched to secure manhood suffrage for Negroes in Michigan. The plan might well have been Lambert's idea, although officers of the committee were older men, long known in the Negro community. Lambert was not long in gaining recognition both as a public speaker and as fluent with his pen. He helped to form a colored vigilant committee, and its work was well advanced by late 1842. It proposed a petition to the state legislature praying that we, the colored citizens of the state of Michigan, may enjoy our right of suffrage. So, at the same time, man, these niggas know who they is. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know they Indians, but they willing to go assimilate and say they colored and all this shit so they could get some stripes with these people. So they just talking about, all they little campaigns and shit they doing. I don't want to get wrapped up in this racist ass lady. Hold on. Let's fast forward a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Shit getting boring to me. You know what I'm talking about? But we see everybody was getting money and all this kind of shit. Let's go to we'll come back to that. Let's go to this right here. Let's go to this article. Because this right here, I typed in the newspaper. So I was looking for the newspaper clipping. And this is from, let's go all the way down before we even get started. Oh yeah, this is courtesy courtesy of the Burton Historical Collection of the Detroit Public Library. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no meme. But this right here, this gonna fuck y'all head up. All right, this whole what is this tab gonna fuck your head up? All right, so we're gonna cut through because remember she was referencing because you know she doing all her little freestyle talking shit, but she referencing her source of reference was the article from the Detroit Tribune. You know what I'm saying? January 17, 1886. So this is that article courtesy of the Detroit Library, right? And I guess they're most reliable for the history of Detroit, but you know, it is what it is. Let's check this out. It says Freedom Railway, reminiscence of the brave old days of the famous Underground Line. Historic scenes recall Detroit, the center of operations that freed thousands of slaves. It says the Western Underground Railway paid no dividends, never had a general meeting of its director. Its objective was Canada and freedom. Its trade was derived from the slave plantations of the South. Its patrons were people of color, and its promoters and managers had their headquarters in Detroit. Some of them still live, and all of them recall the days of the Underground Road with hearty satisfaction that comes from a good work accomplished. So now, of course, this is the writer speaking, you know what I mean? Keep everybody on track, but this is the writer speaking in 1886. You know what I mean? And he talking about the Underground Railroad. Let me get this, man. Charge my phone up. This shit crazy, y'all. It's crazy, man. We ain't even got to nothing yet. It's just we just, you know, building it up. All right, now it says some of them still live, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Among those living here, well known and highly respected is William Lambert, age 70, occupation, tailor and philanthropist. All right, so now we know this the abolitionist, that old girl writing about in the other book or the other article. It says, son of a slave father and free mother, a man of education. So he an Indian. You know what I'm saying? They talking about his free mother. So he, you know, even if you want to go just matrilineal and stop there, you got a free mother and it's 1830. You know what I'm saying? So she wasn't either she had to be already free. She didn't just come from Africa 6 weeks ago. Now she free. You know what I'm saying? Like, so she clearly an Indian.
And if you was a slave, you could pull somebody free. Just because you was a slave, don't mean you could have a free woman, evidently.
Man, niggas at Walmart got wives, man. Come on, man. It don't matter. We Indians. That's why they can't kill us. Why you think they had to make laws talking about, hey, man, y'all can't be sleeping with the white girls and all this shit? You know what I'm saying? But check this out, man. Because this, you're going to see what everything is, bro. You're going to see how they finessed us. They finessed us out of our connection to the Most High. It say, among those living here, well-known and highly respected is William Lambert, age 70, occupation, tailor and philanthropist, son of a slave father and free mother, a man of education, wide-read, rare argumentative power, the founder of the colored Episcopal Church of this city and the leader of his race in this state. All right? He the main nigga on the trigger. You know what I'm talking about? Now, this how they talking about this man in what? 1886. So I don't want to take nothing away from him. You know what I'm saying? And for all we know, from his perspective, you know, he might have thought he was doing the best thing, securing a spot for his descendants. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, we don't know. But now, like I say, we at a point of evolution, you know, mentally and spiritually, where we know what the fuck shit is when we see it. So that's why we have to steer clear of it, no matter who got manipulated 100 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, niggas got iPhones now, man. Google this shit. It say, among those living here, well-known, highly respected is William Lambert, age 70, occupation, tailor and philanthropist, son of a slave father and free mother, a man of education, wide-read, rare argumentative power, the founder of the colored Episcopal Church of this city and the leader of his race in this state. There's no wonder that William Lambert was chosen as active manager of the Underground Railway service. His energy was unflagging and his executive qualities of the highest order. Associated with him was George de Baptiste, also colored, and like Lambert, possessed good executive ability. De Baptiste is dead, but Lambert still lives, his mind and eye undimmed, and his enthusiasm for the advancement of his race sparking as bright as ever. So that's why I'm saying he don't know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he doing the best thing. So that's why I don't think I'm tearing nobody down, because I ain't with that, man. You know what I'm saying? That's not my goal ever. We just letting it be known how it went down. But you see how they talking about him. So this the white folks writing about him. It sound like, boy, this nigga is goddamn Barnum and Bailey coming out this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? He said he told the greater part of the story which follows, but the charm of its narration is lost in the writing, for Lambert's modulated voice, his careful gesticulation, and the carefully chosen and accurately pronounced words with which he clothes his teachings, ideas can only be suggested here. Nearly 40,000 slaves were made free by crossing them into Canada over Detroit and St. Clair rivers between the year of 1820 and 1862. Y'all see that? 40,000 Indians went over to Canada, 1820 to 1862. You know what I'm saying? 40,000. They said it was only 1,400 niggas in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Niggas out of here. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, even though we like, okay, that's cool, but they still going over to the fucking British camp to fight for the British and shit. You know what I'm saying? And now you displaced. Now you off your land. So it's not really a win. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna be honest. I say he thought he was doing the best. Look, I gotta take that back. This is spoiler alert, but y'all gonna see how the nigga talk about us in a minute. All right. So anyway, say nearly 40,000 slaves were made free by crossing them into Canada over Detroit and St. Clair rivers between the year of 1820 and 1862, when the last one was ferried over. In the last 20 years of that time, $120,000 were collections and expended to bring slaves from the South to Canada by way of Detroit. Say excuse me, hold on, let's make sure I'm saying the right shit. Says there escaped to Canada in all the estimated number of 50,000 slaves, so a total of 50,000. A few of those were not travelers on the Underground Railroad, but they were a small minority. The large number were brought from Florida and Louisiana and from the border states. They were never left unprotected in their journeys, and the hardships they underwent to secure liberty were not only shared with them by their conductors, but repeated time after time by the 100 or so men who cheerfully assumed this arduous task. Taking up Mr. Lambert's story of personal reminiscence, he begins with 1829, at which time a band of desperados, something in general character like the James Boys, were the terror of the southern western states. Mackenzie'ites, they were called, and in number were some 60 or 70. Now listen to this. They robbed and pillaged, and whenever they could with safety, and these people were the first Southern agents of the Underground Railway system of Detroit. So I don't know what color these people is or nothing, but they clearly out here to get it. They a gang. They the Mackenzie'ites. You know what I'm saying? It say, it was a long time, said Mr. Lambert, before we could make up our minds to make use of these scoundrels, but we at least concluded that the end justified the means. So now they got to work with the gang. You know what I'm talking about? The Freemason niggas got to work with the gangs. Message. This what? 1830? What do you say? 1820 to 1862? All right. Now let's pay attention. He said, it was a long time, said Mr. Lambert, before we could make up our minds to make use of these scoundrels, but we at least concluded that the end justified the means. Indeed, we went further than that before we got through our work. These men would, with the permission of the slave himself, pay close attention. These men would, now this is William Lambert, you know what I'm saying, being interviewed in the newspaper. And this him talking. Said Mr. Lambert, it was a long time, said Mr. Lambert, before we could make up our minds to make use of these scoundrels, but we at least concluded that the end justified the means. Indeed, we went further than that before we got through our work. So he said we started with even grimier niggas before it was all said and done. Clearly, that's what I take from that. But anyway, these men would, with the permission of the slave himself, steal him away from the owner who had title to him, and then sell him. From this second bondage, they would steal him again and deliver him to us on the line of the Ohio River. So now they working with the gang to go steal these niggas. They tell them, okay, we're going to have to gang come steal you, you know what I'm saying? But then they gonna sell you to somebody else. And then once they get the money for that, then they gonna steal you and bring you to us. And slave, like, you know what I'm saying? Whoever is the initiate is going with the flow. Okay, I'm with the shit. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention, because these niggas wasn't just no free slaves. They was initiates, my nigga, going through a rite of passage. There were no steam railways in those days. We traveled at night, or if in the daytime, with peddling wagons with false bottoms large enough to hold 3 men traveling through the South. Our association with the Mackenzie'ites was far from the very necessities of the case of short life. They were sure to be caught sooner or later. And at last, some more daring robbery than usual brought some of them to prison and dispersed the rest. So he talking about, you know, the gang broke up and all this kind of shit. But they out here flipping niggas. You know what I'm saying? They flipping niggas like crack. Meanwhile, they telling you this is a part of your initiation. You know what I'm saying? Some same old Greek shit. We gonna come kidnap you and put a hood over your head and all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Just go with the flow. It's all part of your initiation. This shit is not new, my nigga. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And they keep a nigga indoctrinated with this same shit, my nigga, and keeping us separated from our creator by indoctrinating us with all this other bullshit. But anyway, let's read on. It says, we began the organization of a more thorough system, and we arranged passwords and grips and a ritual. But we were always suspicious of the white man, and those we admitted we put to severe tests, and we had one ritual for them alone and a chapter to test them in. To the privilege of the rest of the order, they were not admitted. So he said they had one test, a severe test, and one ritual that they had just for the white man. So I don't know what that is. You know what I'm saying? It says he took from a desk. Now, this is the reporter speaking. He took from a desk where Walker's Appeal for Freedom and the letters of Mr. John Brown, Lloyd Garrison, and Wendell Phillips, 2 books bound in sheep, and of the pattern called memoranda books in the trade. In Lambert's own handwriting was the ritual, the test words, grips, descriptions, emblems, and lessons. The order using was composed of nearly 1 million free Negroes in the United States and Canada. 1 million Indians, bro. United States and Canada. All right. Now, it says to complete the ritual, which was the one actively used by the Underground Railway managers, the word was leprous. Password, crossover. And then the question and answer begins. Any of y'all who ever been Nations of Gods and Earth's 5 percenters, y'all know about the question and answer, don't y'all? Supreme Wisdom, y'all know about the question and answer? Y'all thought that was the first one, right? Y'all still be believing these niggas as prophets, feeding y'all this old ass shit. Y'all still believe Jesse Jackson came up with African American when this book came out in 1967. When he come with that African American shit in the 80s?
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? Now we know where it came from the secret order, African mysteries, African American mysteries. You know what I'm saying? They up on it. But we didn't have the internet. All right, so anyway, here go the little question answer cross over. Have you ever been on the railroad? I have been a short distance. Where did you start from? The depot. Where did you stop? At a place called Safety. Have you a brother there? I think I know him. I know you now. You travel the road. No, they got their whole little shit. Boom, we go on page 2. This conversation was the test. It was taught to every fugitive, and the sign was pulling the knuckle of the right forefinger over the knuckle of the same finger of the left hand. The answer was to reverse the fingers as described. It is an interesting feature of this history to remember that nearly 40,000 slaves used this test, and it was on the lips of every Quaker in America.
What, that question and answer right there?
Every Quaker in America. It's all part of the shit, man. They got it. They know it too. Let's read on. It's gonna get deeper. Now remember, this is the article. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Let's say, but now that's still the reporter talking. It say on the lips of every Quaker in America, the first and only time foregoing the use of thee and thou in order to make the test more certain. It say foregoing the use of thee and thou in order to make the test more certain. So that's some of their little lingo, thee and thou. You know what I'm saying? Whenever thee, thou, you know what I'm saying? Motherfucker got all code words. You know what I'm saying? So they know who's who. It says the Grand Lodge, the Grand Chapter Lodge had its rooms on Jefferson. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I understand what you're saying. I just was computing the information, processing the information, but I see what you're saying now, because like who high ranking and who low level, you know, Mercury type shit.
Yeah, exactly. Knowledge. You know what I'm saying? All right. So there's levels to the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like you a big dog.
I mean, what was we learning? What was we mastering? Our degrees, bro. This shit is degrees no matter where you go. No matter where you go in this matrix. You know what I'm saying? You could go to college. If you want to go to college, you could go get your degrees there. If you want to goddamn stand on a corner, sell crack and smoke weed, then you could get your degrees by being a 5%. You finna get your degrees in this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to be orchestrating and making sure that we governing all whatever tribes you niggas is claiming. Because at the end of the day, all this shit is just tribes. Like I told my cousin, the Hebrew Israelites, tribe, Nation of Islam, tribe, Crips, tribe, Bloods, tribe, GDs, tribe, Vice Lord, tribe. You know what I'm saying? Church, tribe. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, this is the nature of us. The Most High created us in tribes and sub-tribes so that we may recognize one another. You know what I mean? And like attract like. Now let's see what else they snitch about. Said the Grand Chapter Lodge had its rooms on Jefferson between Bates and Randolph, about where number 202 now is. And the applicant for the degree of captive was brought up. Now listen, when the applicant for the degree of captive was brought up for examination, he was detained without while asked what it was he sought. Deliverance was the answer. Now see, deliverance was the answer, right? Where's this? Where's this thing? Deliverance. That's sticking out in my head, man. Hold on. Deliverance. Where's that other book? He said deliverance is the answer. Where Booker T. Washington book at? Because he was praying for something on page 13. Deliverance. Hold on, y'all. Y'all see how many tabs I got? Boom. I got a whole bunch more shit to tell y'all. That's not it, though. Where the hell is the Booker T book? Is this it? Yeah, this is it. All right, let's go to page 13. He say deliverance is what they was looking for. Let's see the wording on this real quick. I could just be tripping. No, I wasn't tripping. What's that say at the bottom? Little Booker and his mother praying to be delivered from slavery. All right. It's on page 13 of his autobiography, right? We know 13 is M in the alphabet. And in this case, we know what M stands for. If you don't know what M stands for, then you're in the wrong class. All right, so even in Booker T. Washington book, in his autobiography, he praying to be delivered from slavery, right? Page 13. You got to connect all these dots, man. Boom. Now let's go back here. It says, when the applicant for the degree of captive was brought up for examination, he was detained without while asked what it was he sought. Deliverance was the answer, my nigga. Okay, this is the degree of the captive. African American mysteries, the order. He says the deliverance was the answer. How does he expect to get in? By his own efforts. Has he faith? He has hope. It was from this body that John Brown took on his task of raiding Harper's Ferry. One of the prominent members was Mr. Lambert. John Brown's raid on Harper's Ferry was planned here, and much of the used was subscribed here. It was on some of the personal qualities of John Brown that the reporter continued the interview with Lambert. When did you meet Brown first? Okay, so now he back to question. That was all the reporter talking. So now here go William Lambert. He asked him, when did he meet John Brown? Here in Detroit, I was expecting a train from the south and we were waiting for it at the lodge on Jefferson Avenue. This was our custom. The fugitives were brought in from the country, from Wayne and Ann Arbor, so as to arrive at night. They would be brought to the vicinity of the lodge, when we would go and test them, and all those with them. Some 20 or 30 came on the night I speak of, and I went down to test them. Among others to whom I applied the test was a tall, smoothly shaven man. When he had answered correctly, I cried out, "Are you John Brown?" "You are." "I know it, brother." "Yes, brother, I am John Brown." From that moment, he and I were the firmest friends. So now these niggas that's being freed, you know what I'm saying? They going through the indoctrination. Nigga, is you with the shit or what? You know what I'm saying? Peace to everybody in the chat. Peace to the tribes. He said, from that moment, he and I were the firmest friends. He stopped with me at my house, then in the western part of the city, and became a conductor on the Underground Railway. He brought to Detroit more than 200 fugitives. Here are the books. If you care to go over them, you will see the reports that give dates and names and from whence they came. So now he talking to the reporter and he giving them everything. Here are the books. You know what I'm saying? If you want to know, they keeping record. You know what I'm saying? This ain't just no random shit that's going on. You know what I mean? Everybody look like, oh, come on, nigga, hurry up, run. You know what I mean? This shit is straight orchestrated. It's deep, bro. They say he penetrated every part of the South and visited every colored man that it was possible to get at who had intelligence to grasp the idea of freedom and yet make no boast of it. He was indefatigable in these respects. He was always on time, and his person, courage tested 1,000 times, was beyond dispute. So he was William Lambert talking about John Brown. When he had received the people at the lodge, we took them to the rendezvous, which was the house of J.C. Reynolds, an employee of the company then constructing the Michigan Central Railway. His residence was at the foot of 8th Street, just opposite the place where the first elevator was subsequently built. The house was long since been torn down. We would fetch the fugitives there, shipping them into the house by dark, one by one. There they found food and warmth, and when, as frequently happened, they were ragged and thinly clad. We gave them clothing. It says our boats were concealed under the docks, and before daylight, we would have everyone over. We never lost a man by capture at this point, so careful were we. And we took, We never lost a man by capture at this point, so careful were we. And we took over as high as 1,600 in 1 year. Sometimes we were closely watched and other rendezvous were used. Finney's barn used to be filled with them sometimes. It stood opposite the hotel property which bears Finney's name. Well, one night we had reason to believe we were watched. 2 persons were skulking about, and when we turned upon them, Brown seized them both and dropped them over the pier head first into the water. He had scarcely done so when he threw off his coat and plunged in after them and brought them safely to land. They would have certainly been drowned had he not interfered to save them. Once in Indiana, near Indianapolis, he was driving a covered wagon and 9 fugitives concealed under some old furniture. He was pursued by some slave hunters who had gone on the trail in some way, and although they were armed and fired at him, he boldly faced the crowd and drove them away and brought his charge through in safety. But those incidents of Brown were the recurring ones to every conductor, of whom he had as many as 100 employed. So now the conductor, he got 100 other niggas working for him. You know what I'm saying? This is a whole operation. They got the gang, the Mackenzites. They grabbing niggas up, you know what I'm saying, for the ritual so they could get their degree. They on the captive degree. You know what I'm saying? They want to be delivered. Nigga, you want to be free, Indian? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, well, we about to kidnap your ass, sell you to a nigga, and we gonna come grab you up. So now, mind you, this nigga got to play along. You know what I'm saying? Because he gets sold again. He got to play like he don't have no owner. You know what I'm saying? He got to play like he don't know the shit, and he gotta pray that these niggas really coming to get him after they sell him to the second nigga. That's why it's all part of a right to pass. That's why they got to get all ahead with this whole initiation shit. Same way they do now. It's for my initiation. Now, this is a little odd part right here. Let's fast forward a little. Because all he really doing right now is dick riding John Brown. And I'm gonna tell you why he dick riding John Brown. Spoiler alert, because he snitched on a nigga and set him up. You know what I'm saying? They got him killed. So now he want to dick ride him in this article. But we'll pull that reference up and talk about that in a minute. You know what I'm saying? But I'm tripping off it. Listen to him. He's such a great man. Ooh, wop, wop. You snitched on a nigga. Because see, they taught him a code when they sending what's this shit called? Like the telegraph shit, they had to talk in code because that was public. You know what I'm saying? It was like tweeting a nigga. You know what I mean? Like you had to send it through the operator. So the operator read it and it was some fishy shit. Then of course they're gonna tell. So they had to learn how to write a code. You know what I mean? In the telegraph shit, and he taught John Brown a code. You can look all this up, man. I can't show y'all everything. He taught him a code, and when it came down, when he was going to do the raid on Harper's Ferry, you know what I'm saying? Because he wanted niggas to gun up, you know what I'm saying? And when he did that, oh boy, this William Lambert nigga snitched on him, you know what I'm saying? All right. So anyway, let's fast forward. Our organization, that's where we at. Our organization of stations was very good. We sent many white men to take up farms at convenient places, and as these station masters multiplied, the operation of the road became less difficult. So now the white people with this shit, you know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm telling you. You talking about this slavery shit, and everybody think they got this shit all figured out, but now you got these niggas, Freemasons, secret order niggas, you know what I'm saying? They set up the network with the white people. Each conductor got 100 other people working under him. He just spilled the beans in the article, you know what I'm saying? From the Detroit Library, that's from the Detroit Tribune, January 17th, 1886. So you could go look at the microfilms and all that fly shit if you think it's made up. He said, we sent many white men to take up arms at convenient places, and as these station masters multiplied, the operation of the road became less difficult. Many of the men were of good means, for it was necessary at times to have bail at hand and influential people to help us out of our troubles. In 1859, our organization was so complete that we could get through an invoice of freight. Let's get to this, man. Let me tell you who this nigga wants you to be free, right? Because he a freedom fighter, ain't he? He fighting for his people to be free. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
In 1859, our organization was so complete that we could get through an invoice of freight by our own road from the river to the lake in 10 to 11 days. Mm. He said if the war had not come, we would have 33% of the 3 million of slaves of the South in Canada in the year 18, and I don't know why that's blank. He said 33. I don't know why it's blank. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why it's blank. He said if the war had not come, we would have had 33% of the 3 million of slaves of the South in Canada. This what he working towards, getting these niggas out of here. Oh, the Underground Railroad, they move up.
You said this is some old Martin Luther King ass operation.
Man, they flipping niggas. I ain't even finished, bro. You think this all I got? I got more. You know what I'm saying? I'm just let motherfucker marinate, let this shit soak in, bro. He say in 1859, our organization was so complete that we could get through an invoice of freight. Mm-hmm. An invoice of freight, nigga.
Right.
Ain't these men, women, and children looking for their freedom? And this how you talking? You know what I'm saying? You heard how he talking about you dick riding the shit out of John Brown. You know how to talk highly of you. Come on, bro. He started thinking about the Rick Ross operation he had with the niggas. You know what I'm saying? We used to have the gang grabbing these dumbass niggas up. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you'll pack back in 2 weeks.
Man, I pack in 2 weeks, man. And then he even throw in a little code with him. If the war had not come, we would have had 33% of the 3 million slaves of the South in Canada by the year 18 blank. It said the war and usefulness of the railroad. The line of freedom crossed the lakes and moved south, keeping step with the battle line of Union. All right, so
that was deep right there. The war ended the usefulness of the railroad.
The war ended the usefulness of the railroad. He said if the war had not come, so this because they was trying to stop niggas from fighting. You understand? Get these niggas up out of here. But man, you'll be free. You go to Canada, man. They still gonna be up under the British. We know that this is all up under the British. It was a finesse game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We know that now, 100 years later.
Ain't no escaping the British rule.
Ain't no escape, nigga. But we could get you up off this land, take your ass up here to cold ass Canada, and then get the fuck on. And he talking about if it wasn't for the war, we'd have got these niggas up out of here for y'all. Cause you got an invoice of freight, my nigga. In 1859, let's get back to the reading. It get deeper. In 1859, our organization was so complete that we could get through an invoice of freight by our own road from the river to the lake in 10 to 11 days. If the war had not come, we would have had 33% of the 3 million of slaves of the South in Canada by the year 18. The war ended the usefulness of the railroad. The line of freedom crossed the lakes and moved south, keeping step with the battle line of the Union. Who was the first and last person who traveled over the road? Now you see how the dude talking to him in code too, because he probably with the fuck shit too. You know what I'm saying? Who was the first and last person who traveled over the road? Ah, well, I suppose the first has long since gone over another river to a greater country. I do not remember who he was, nor do I recall the last. So that's some cold shit that we don't even know. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They talking in code.
Yeah, they do
Trust
this,
me.
They do this over our head all the time, and we don't even realize it.
Right in our face. You know what I'm saying? But we do it too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just they tried. These niggas just took.
That's like when a rapper used a piece of the supreme wisdom, and you know where he got it from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like if you was a Mason or with the shit or something, and then you like watching the news or like reading a book or something, you see like. So you're gonna be like, oh, okay, he gang, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, he gang. And that's exactly what it is. You go see these niggas throwing up they set. Bro, I already showed you. I don't know if you saw at the beginning with they had they got these kids getting indoctrinated. Where is it at? Throwing up the set out the gate. Here it go right here. Is this it? Yeah, I think this is it. I should have stopped sharing so y'all don't have to look at this black ass screen. Oh, damn, this ain't even it. Tripping. Where is it at? There it go. Check them out. Big hidden hand action. Now, you see all them little, you want to say them white girls, them little what they call mulattoes. Mixed Indians. Them really some octoroons and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they trying to do, breed us out. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga be saying, half breeds, my nigga, you ain't gonna breed no Indian out that fast. We already read the book. The nigga say it take at least 2 generations. You know what I'm saying? Before we could trust these niggas. You know what I'm saying? We can all the way wash them. You know what I'm saying? And get them to blend in. And actually, this book, this image comes from a book where this is a case where one of this lady, what's her name? It's about her whole court case. Alexina Morrison. This is about her whole court case where she trying to say, no, I'm white. She trying to change her status. It says, nor was it impossible for someone to appear as black or more likely mulatto on one tabulation of the United States Census and white on another. So she fighting the census and shit. But that's a whole nother bill. You know what I'm saying? Because all these people right here, slaves. The group of Louisiana slaves was exhibited during the Civil War in an effort to raise support among white Northerners. By the late antebellum period, Southern legislatures and judges, recognizing complexities suggested in this photograph, were increasingly concerned with the erosion of the boundaries between black and white, enslaved and free. Because here go the slaves. Every fucking body. You heard?
Right, people.
All y'all slaves. But we got to figure this out. You know what I'm saying?
Right, we can't have you light-skinned motherfuckers working outside. That ain't no good look.
Come on, man. Especially when they trying to sleep with motherfuckers and make them more white. But what I really pulled this picture up was to not only see that everybody was slaves, you know what I'm saying? But this little boy right here, he looks straight white. You know what I'm saying? He's all everybody. Now look, but you see how young they are, right? Look at
Yeah,
both them little boys doing the hidden hand.
they
They
are.
indoctrinated. You see them in these clothes. You see them in these clothes, so you already know they lost who they are, my nigga. This ain't how the Indians dress. But look at everybody's how the different shades of everybody, the texture of everybody's hair. You know what I'm saying? This shit been going on for hundreds of years before we even dealing with this history here. You know what I'm talking about? All right, so let's
We
move
just come out all
on. But you know,
flavors
that's the
just
hit.
'cause we just gonna come out all flavors regardless. They make us think we water down to be
Man,
we
we
don't
the flavor creators.
right. We don't need no
We the
cut. Right. We'll manifest a flavor from scratch.
from
Word.
scratch.
Word. They be
From
acting
scratch.
like we need
You know
some
what I'm saying?
cut or some other ingredients or something. You know what I mean?
That's the separation from the Most High. They too busy listening to the inner light, and they inner light don't know shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody, this shit is all. Everybody want to use logic and reason and all this shit. That's what all this science shit is about. And really, you separating yourself from the Most High and the nature of things, nigga. You go outside, you don't understand. You know what I'm saying? What's going on around you, nigga? What make every bird the color it is? You don't understand that it take a fly to pollinate the motherfucking coca plant, nigga. So if it wasn't no flies, nigga, you wouldn't have no motherfucking Hershey's chocolate. You don't understand that. You'll lose your fucking mind trying to figure that out. Why do you think it's all these different sciences? For motherfucker can go study this shit for the rest of his fucking life. Just
Right.
this one subject. You know what I'm saying? Because this is how great the Most High is,
They
bro.
have to dedicate his life to that one thing.
One thing. One subject. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't rock with all that worship the creation shit. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so you know the Quakers on the inner light. They teaching these niggas. They on the inner light. They know the motherfucking. They know the secret order shit. They didn't trust many whites. They trusted them freaky ass Quakers though. You know what I'm saying? And we already know they got a lot to do with a whole bunch of trickery. But I just want to show everybody. Look how little these niggas is, bro. They getting indoctrinated ASAP with the fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? We got y'all, got your haircut, got you getting these clothes. You know what I'm saying?
He old
Now,
enough to master 120.
yeah, he old enough to master 120.
Shit.
Exactly. Exactly.
The little gods.
Exactly. What is that? The sign of the master of the second veil. He got more degrees than these niggas wearing these rings. The hidden hand sign is used in New York Rite Masonry 7th degree, the Royal Arch degree. The Grand Master of the second veil or junior overseer. Is one of the 9 officials necessary to form a Royal Arch chapter. During the Royal Arch initiation ceremony, he is responsible for teaching new initiatives the meaning of the hidden hand sign. So you know what I'm saying? You a lieutenant. Get you some private soldiers. We're gonna put you in the mix. And we already seen that same shit. Look how all this shit connect. That's what I'm saying. You got to read up. Page 13, little Booker and his mother praying to be delivered. You know what I'm saying? Deliverance. What you looking for, nigga? Deliverance. But what's the next page? Little Booker, a favorite master, is allowed to peep into the parlor of the big house. And what's the master doing? What's master doing? This is autobiography. He know what master doing. They trying to fly the flag on the slide. They throwing up they set on the slide. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They figured they thought they had we got the secret knowledge. No one will ever know. This is just for us. Here we are. Just a nigga in the hood with a lighter. Exposing the shit out y'all. Because it's the will of the Most High. Because I'm connected. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's get back to it. Because we really ain't even got all the way to it. You know what I'm saying? It's still a whole lot of more weird ass shit going on. All right, so we already see that. Boom, boom, boom. It say it was April 1862. I'm gonna light it up so everybody could get with us. It was April 1862 we sent him. Okay, now he's still talking. It's still the old man talking. So let's go back up. to the top of the paragraph when he asked him, because he just asked him who was the first and last person who traveled over the road. Ah, well, I suppose the first is long since gone over another river to a greater country. I do not remember who he was, nor do I recall the last. It was April 1862 we sent him. When a fugitive got here, our first object was to secure for a means of making a livelihood, then to bring him his family. So they getting a nigga a job, send you to go work for the British and all this shit. Send you to go enlist in the army, fight for the British. You know what I'm saying? Take your ass to Canada. And say for the former purpose, we had the Fugitive Home and Employment Society on the other side. For the former purpose, we had the Fugitive Home and Employment Society on the other side. So now that's something else we got to figure out, because just because they wrote it like that, this is probably some other secret order. The Fugitive Home and Employment Society. What the fuck is that? But they had that already set up in Canada. You know what I'm saying? But you look at it like, yay, nigga, yay, what? Nigga, you just separated a nigga from his land. You know what I'm saying? Like, this nigga's a refugee now in cold-ass Canada. You say, we took up the land and the rest of the part of the task was easy. We took up the land and the rest of the part of the task was easy. Then we had the fugitive photographed. Listen to this shit, dog. That's why they calling these niggas agents. You know what I'm saying? We had the fugitive photograph. This photograph with all the necessary directions were given to a abductor with orders to bring that family. Now these niggas want to talk about, oh, they don't have no picture of this nigga. They don't have no nigga, he wasn't popular enough to have a fucking picture of him. Stupid ass nigga. You don't know nothing about what's going on, bro. These niggas out here on the Underground Railroad taking pictures of niggas. Here, man, this nigga right here, grab him up. He finna get initiated. Oh, they finna tell us more about it. If y'all think, oh, well, that ain't enough to say. Okay. We're gonna keep reading. See, most niggas quit reading. That's why they don't know shit. It said this photograph for all the necessary directions were given to a conductor with orders to bring that family. He would seek it out. The photograph served as credentials, and when he had shown it to the people, all he had to do was to use the best means to get them over the river and onto the line of one of the routes of railways. After that, it was hard to capture them again. We did not lose many. All of these conductors and the rest of it must have cost money. Okay, let's get the right context. This is the interviewer asking him. He's saying all of these conductors and the rest of it must have cost money. So now William Lambert, the abolitionist responds. Yes, but we got enough. Although at times much hampered for the lack of it, perhaps it was better that we not get more than we did for our enthusiasm. If not expended in the necessary channel or getting money might have led us into greater mistakes. Now, mind you, this is a nigga who was worth 24 million when he died. All right. It said we were impatient. Well, that's 24 million today's money. We'll pull that up. It said we were impatient and might have gone so fast as to defeat our own purposes. However, we got the money. He said, we got the money, shawty. Don't trip. Because they flipping niggas. How many niggas they say? 50,000 niggas, and you selling every nigga to somebody and stealing them before you bring them? I mean, if y'all was really about a nigga freedom, why you didn't just grab them? And you know what I'm saying? Let's get it. Ain't nobody no volunteers in this shit. Everybody getting the bread. This is a hustle, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, what did he say? The war made the usefulness of the railroad. If you want niggas to be free and it's a war, what? Y'all stop helping niggas get free because it's a war? Oh, well, fuck it, man. We ain't doing this shit no more. It's an operation. Oh, goofy ass niggas. Like every grass in front of you, bro. That's why you freeze up. Oh, shit. Probably why the rabbit freeze up. I don't know the science, but I'm gonna observe nature. He probably freeze up because he can't see shit. You know what I'm saying? But he can feel that hawk swooping. He feel him. He feel them eyes on him. Because we hawking. We seeing it. Now anyway, it said all of these conductors and the rest of it must have cost money. Yes, but we got enough money. We got enough. Although at times much hampered for the lack of it, perhaps it was better that we not get more than we did for our enthusiasm. If not expended in the necessary channel of getting money, might have led us into greater mistakes. We were impatient and might have gone so fast as to defeat our own purposes. However, we got the money. One of the reasons, though by no means the important one, that led us to get a man his family was that he would always be willing to contribute something to help that being done when he might otherwise have hesitated to share his means. So now we already know we can finesse this nigga out of anything because we got this network set up and we running mental game on niggas. Hey, bro, now you know I helped you get your wife, man, and your kids, dog. You know you owe me, bro. You know what I'm talking about? The chief reason, though, was to sweeten the cup of liberty for him. Not to give him his freedom, nigga. Because without his family about him, his happiness was only partially secured by his own escape from bondage. He was not likely to become a good citizen. He was not likely to become a good citizen and a man to do good in the world without his family. So he trying to, you know, they figuring it all out. Okay, we got to shift these niggas over here. We got to get these niggas to be loyal. You know what I'm saying? They running a game. He going to tell us more about it. It says, and our aim did not end with the deprivation of the slaveholder of his properties. It looked toward the civilization of the man, the raising of him up, so that one object was only half gained when he was free. Because see, they want to indoctrinate you, assimilate you into the snake religion, have you, you know, making allegiance to the queen and shit. You know what I mean? Because this is what it's all about. It says that our successes have been marked as proven by the condition of 50,000 good citizens contributed to the Dominion of Canada. That's what that nigga say he did. He didn't say he freed nobody. Our success has been marked. It says that our success has been marked is proven by the condition of 50,000 good citizens to the Dominion of Canada. Not no motherfucking Indians having their own home and being free. None of that shit. No, we got y'all like 50,000 niggas over there working for you. You know what I'm saying? These niggas is good citizens. We broke these niggas. Now, peep how they break them. Let's see. Is it in this article? We're going to get back to that. And then look right here. He throwing more codes at the end. Last paragraph. Well, our work went forward here just 33 years. It was a great one, and I am satisfied with my share of it. I have told more of it to you than I have ever did to anyone before. Indeed, I am quite hoarse with talking. He says, the old gentleman rose, indicating thereby that he had talked himself out for one sitting, and giving me a courteous good night, added that some other day he would like to tell about the Bulwer-Clayton Treaty at length. So now there's something for us to research, because now we know some fuck shit involved, whatever that's about. You know what I'm saying? If you want to do some research, you just like history, you know, like I do. Let's go. I guess it's almost done, man. He said, I guess more of the incidents that happened in Detroit were pretty well known. After we got to Michigan, we didn't have a regular route, but we did have others. We used to work up the Wabash River to Fort Wayne and then across into Washtenaw County, where Ann Arbor is, you know. There we had lots of friends and help. Then if the hue and cry had been sharply raised, we would keep our people in concealment and get them over the ferry when we could. They used to lay in barns and all sorts of retreats and doubtless underwent many hardships, which at times caused them almost to regret their flight. But we got them through all right at last. Girls were often brought as boys and women disguised as men, and men and women were frequent arrivals. When railways began to be built, we used to pack them in boxes and send them by express. Nigga don't, you know what I'm saying? We got 30 or 40 through in that way, but the danger of their lives by reason of lack of careful handling and fear of suffocation made that means dangerous. So they did this for 33 years. 33 years. You got William Lambert, he testifying, you know what I'm saying? Old man, himself. He throwing all these motherfucking signs and shit. Niggas be wanting to act slow. You know what I'm saying? It's snake religion, bro. What is this? Another question and answer. I just wanted to show you this question and answer. What is this? Alcott. Who is this Alcott? Henry Alcott. Theosophical Society. He one of Blavatsky's homeboys, one of them jinn worshiping ass things. But see, this is Alcott's Buddhist Catechism, composed in 1881. Are you getting this? This is composed in 1881. Why is a nigga composing some shit in 1881 in the Theosophical Society? And this shit look like the goddamn lessons from the 5%. Would you call a person a Buddhist who has merely been born of Buddhist parents? Answer, certainly not. A Buddhist is one who not only professes belief in the Buddha as the noblest of teachers in the doctrine preached by him in the brotherhood of our hearts, but practice his precepts in daily life. Question, what is karma? Answer: a causation operating on the morale on the moral as well as physical and other planes. Buddhists say there is no miracle in human affairs. What a man sows, that he must still reap. So now you niggas steady talking about this karma shit. Question and answer all this shit. You got this goofy ass European over here in India, and he writing this shit up in 1881. So stop. And you don't know, bruh. Stop it, bruh. Unless you want to say that these niggas was just dumb, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Don't come over here trying to dick ride and kick for these niggas, bruh. When the Most High done exposed this, it ain't me doing it, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? I would love to take all the credit. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't that fly. I'm just Hawkin. Let's not get too off subject. Let's get back to the general plan was freedom. Y'all remember we was reading about that? That's page 7. Let's take it back for any new viewers so they can see what this is. Unfortunately, you had to rewind it for us to go into everything. But this is the general plan was freedom, a Negro secret order on the Underground Railroad. Because now we reading the articles that we were referred to in this book from 1967, just to check on it and see what's going on. All right. Now I want to fast forward because there's some more in this book. All right. This is back where he talking about the degrees. This is the article we just read. See, that's why I had to go double check, look it up. Is this bitch lying? You know what I'm saying? Say, Negro citizens of the city of Detroit and as active figures in the anti-slavery movement, these were the men who in postbellum years described for publication a Negro secret order that had served as a branch of the Underground Railroad and was meant to play a part in John Brown's plan. The first account appears in a story on DeBaptiste, published in 1870 in the Detroit Post. We may assume, I believe, that DeBaptiste was the informant, even though the reporter fails specifically to assert it. The second description was given by William Lambert in a full-page interview in 1886. That's what we just read. Ak, you still in here? I'm just talking this shit. Make sure.
Yeah, I'm still in here.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure you didn't get this. Okay, alhamdulillah. It say, boom. So this the 1886. We already read that. Say the reporter turned the page of these sheet-bound books as he wrote the description of what they contain. Now, see, what we just read, they left that out. You know what I'm saying? They didn't go into all that, the description, all this shit. But let me show y'all why. And I'm gonna show y'all something, and I want to show you how deep this is and how funny life is. Because we learning all this high power shit, right? Y'all want to know where I got this from? Because this is courtesy of the historical collection of the Detroit Public Library. You know what I'm saying? Let me show y'all what we studying. Show y'all how humble I am and how humble you need to be. Take it all the way up to the top, tell y'all what this is. This is a teacher's resource lesson plan for grade 4 social studies, my nigga. Yeah. Grade 4 social studies. That's where this is. This lesson helps 4th grade students understand the social, cultural, and economic changes that occurred in Detroit in the second quarter of the 19th century. The lesson includes a comprehensive background essay, a list of additional resources, and copies of worksheets and primary sources. So that's what we was reading from, the primary sources. This is a 4th grade lesson, nigga. Don't be acting smart, nigga, because we all just learned a whole bunch of shit we never fucking knew. And this in the 4th grade lesson plan. But I want to show you how wicked this shit is, though, on the low. Let me see if I can find this. Boom, right here. Look how these people be doing your kids at school. Look at number 4. Explain number 4. Look, because this is the 4th grade lesson, right? They reading this. This is what they tell the teacher to do. Explain that many years after slavery had ended, William Lambert gave an interview about his and Detroit's part in the Underground Railroad. He told what some of those special handshakes and passwords were. Pass out the article, the Detroit Tribune Freedom Railway, and ask students to practice the secret code and handshake, which appear in bold type. So now they got your motherfucking kids doing the ritual. This is what they telling the teacher to do. Your 4th grade kid at home, they tell them the whole narrative. Peep this shit. Peep number 5. Ask students to brainstorm a question. As a class or in groups, they would ask William Lambert if they could interview him about the Underground Railroad in Detroit. This is what I got a problem with. Where is it at? That's not it. Where is it at? Number 7. Ask students to write a story of a journey from slavery to freedom through Detroit. It should be in the first person and tell the journey from a place of slavery all the way to Canada. It should include some elements they learned from William Lambert, such as secret handshakes, the Mackenzie'ites, stops at stations, forms of transportation used at different parts of the journey, and the feelings and hardships of the freedom seekers along the way. Now, they want your kid, now they using their creative power, you know what I'm saying, to learn these handshakes. And, oh, I remember that when I was in 4th grade, we did secret handshakes, and we had to learn we had to memorize the ritual. Because what did it tell them? It say memorize, what did it say? Pass out the article. Ask the students to practice the secret code and handshake, which appear in bold type. Indoctrinating the shit out your motherfucking kids. What's in bold type?
That shit crazy.
See this? Bro, this a 4th grade lesson, bro. They probably learning at school in Detroit. I don't know if you got kids there or whatever.
Nah, I don't.
It says to complete the ritual. This is what you're supposed to be teaching them. We just read the lesson plan to complete the ritual, which is one actively used by the Underground Railway managers. So now they gotta learn the ritual. Have you a brother there? I know you try. They getting them ready, getting them primed up, because this is all part of the indoctrination, my nigga. All these niggas is with the fuckery, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This at the school right now. This shit ain't stopped right now. And they teaching them that these niggas is the hero. Lambert's ritual, called the Order African American Mysteries. There go African American right there. How is this in a newspaper article, 1886? African American. There it is, niggas. Ta-da! All praise due to the Most High, my nigga. I'm just reading. And like I told you in the beginning, if you didn't catch it, one of my homeboys, you know what I'm saying? Just like, bro, that say African American. What year is that book from? And I say 1967, but now let's recall this is from the newspaper clipping from 1886. African American Mysteries. So now you know where all this shit coming from. This shit is not new, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then it ain't got no face. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got no color. Cause everybody with the fuck shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's just read on, man. I'm doing too much freestyling because there's some more crazy shit coming out this article right here. All right, it says the reporter turned the pages because remember they didn't give us that in the 4th grade lesson. That's why I had to show y'all why they didn't give us that because it gets too weird. You know what I'm saying? They just want to get them primed up. Now, and this it goes on to say, said the reporter turned the pages of these sheet-bound books as he wrote the description of what they contain. Lambert's ritual, called the Order African American Mysteries, Order of the Men of Oppression. The Baptiste account named it Order of Emigration, with Men of Oppression, the highest degree. So Men of Oppression is the highest degree. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to lose this. Where am I, man? I want to look up, I want to Google oppression. Just take what's all being in class. Because these niggas saying men of oppression is the highest degree of this order. Oppress, afflict, torment, 13th century. That's the wrong link, though. That ain't where we want to go. Here we go. Oh, that's cool. Mid 14th century from Old French oppressor. Oppress, afflict, torment, smother. Oppressor, press against, press together, press down, crush, put down, subdue, prosecute relentlessly. In late Latin, to rape, my nigga. Huh? From a simulated form of against, to press, hold, pressed, to strike. All right. So these niggas, they don't went to all these good schools supposedly and got all this good education. Why the fuck is they naming themselves men of oppression? When this is, bro, like this shit is just too easy to see. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really ain't gotta do too much extra, man. Read. Let me give me something to drink, man. Let y'all just think about what the fuck we dealing with here. Because they still teaching this in fourth grade right now. You know what I'm saying?
That shit crazy, bro.
They telling the kids to practice the handshake. They telling the kids to tell me what it was like if you were a slave.
Mm-mm.
You in fourth grade. What the fuck you mean, bitch? Imagine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's not okay.
No, that's not okay. You said, was it somebody in the chat said, was that a 3 on dude's head? Who had a 3 on his head? Oh, no, that's a letter B. I think they talking about this. Oh, is they talking about the Spade Ripper?
Yeah, they probably talking
I
about
think they talking about.
stuff.
Oh, look, they talking about redirect. Man, come on with this bullshit, man.
Oh, they talking about this guy right here.
This nigga right here,
yeah.
I don't know what the fuck going on with this dude, man. All I know is he a Quaker. Nigga look like he from Transylvania. But
That's a weird
Transylvania,
ass picture.
Man, that's they. I just looked up Quaker Jesus, and this is one of the things I came up with right here. James Naylor, the English Quaker leader, 17th century artist. Of all the sects that night and errors own, and with false lights possess the worlds, there is none more strongly blind or who more madly place the light of nature for the light of grace. Man, you don't get this old fake ass pimp game out of here. Look how they memorialize niggas. This the AmsterdamNews.com. Icon, Black Experience, William Lambert, Detroit's great Underground Railroad conductor. Commemorating the death of Harriet Tubman, the legendary abolitionist who died on this date in 1913. A friend of mine asked me had I seen segments of the Underground. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? But all this new shit is all coming from the same source. All this shit coming from the same source. Question and answer. Question and answer. Albert Mackey. This 1935. But this compiled from the works of Albert Mackey, which predate that. Question and answer. Look, Negro lodges. Question, what are the facts about Masonic lodges in America composed of Negro members? Answer, that there are hundreds of Negro Masonic lodges in this country is a recognized fact. In most states, they have their own grand lodges, even as they do in Canada and Liberia. My nigga, the two places where they shipping niggas off. Shipping the Indians off. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They already set up. Come on over, nigga. Throw your set up. Because this how I caught the Indians slipping right here. This how I even got to this is how I exposed the fact that the Native American ass chiefs was motherfucking Masons. Because I seen them throwing up they set. They can't say, you know what I'm saying? Niggas know. Y'all know I exposed that shit. Check it out. Where is it? Look at all these motherfuckers. The hidden hand. Or just type in the hidden hand. You're gonna see everybody doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? Look. Come on in. I guess that my computer acted slow because I got 100 images up. Look at your boys throwing up they set. Look, he back here. You can't see him. He got his back there. He got his right here. Throwing up the set. Skull and bone, boys.
Mm-hmm.
This how far back this shit go. Now this dude right here. Damn. Go back. This dude right here, I'm gonna show y'all something funny real quick. This dude far left, he doing his hidden hand shit. We just gonna do a little hidden hand research. Now we know what this is. You know what I'm saying? He a junior overseer. But shit, for all we know. This is baby picture. I indoctrinate them early. All right, let's get back to this. We got a little bit more, man. I ain't gonna take it too long. If y'all, this is the Nighthawk session, man. I had to do it live because it was too much information, man, for me to be trying to make clips and all this old extra shit, man. It's just too much information. These niggas calling themselves the man of oppression. Say the rape. Late Latin. Let's see. Ain't even acting like niggas ever changed the meaning. Mid 14th century, oppress, afflict, torment. 13th century, medieval Latin. Press against, press together, press down. So it ain't nothing that would denote that being, you know what I'm saying? Something positive to be calling yourself, man. Be naming your gang that. It's a whole nother thing. I got the letter, goddamn, that Madam C.J. Walker wrote to Booker T. Washington. Tell her, nigga, quit asking me for money, nigga. Y'all think I'll be lying. Look, I'll be pulling up everything. Boom. What she say? Look at this paragraph. You see where the arrow is? I am unlike your white friends who have waited until they were rich and then helped. That's something else we'll build. But she straight. You could tell she getting at a nigga. Nigga, I ain't them, bro. Stop asking me for fucking money, dog. Cause she telling them, why you don't add my trade to your school? Cause he know that, he on that fuck shit. And he know, if you get Madam CJ Walker hustle shit, y'all fuck around, be $1 million Indians around this motherfucker. She got into it with him, with his bootleg ass. That's what I'm saying. All these people painted as heroes, bro. Sorry, bro. You know what I'm saying? For the sake of, all the real Indians, the real stand-up niggas who done passed away, you know what I'm saying? The niggas who was willing to take death and go meet the Most High before they would be on sucker shit. Well, that's what I'm here for. You know what I'm saying? Because that shit's still in our DNA. Like I told you, man, the spirit is in the blood and they know it. I'm talking about. Let's get back into this a little bit more real quick. I won't keep y'all much longer. Said Lambert's ritual called the Order African American Mysteries, Order of the Men of Oppression. The Baptiste account named it Order of Emigration, with men of oppression the highest degree. Their description of the degrees were essentially the same, and perhaps the name difference has an explanation. More on this point when I come to John Brown. Lambert said they clothed the ritual in a good deal of frumery to give the deepest impression of the importance of every step. 3 degrees were named in both accounts: captives, redeemed, chosen, and within the first degree, a special step. This one called confidence, designed especially for agents of the underground. Lambert's ritual gave an oath that fugitives were taught and a test they must respond to as they were moved along on the underground line. The first degree, captive, meant full membership, and a man who attained it could become a conductor. The candidate, according to the Baptiste story, must be a man fit to be trusted with its then unlawful secrets and tried in dangerous enterprise. The initiation was described as colorful and impressive and filled in every part with the imagery of slavery. The candidate made to wait outside the door. The reporter gave these portions direct from Lambert's ritual. And then they got references. You know what I'm saying? They got references. While an officer questioned him, asking what he sought, he answering deliverance. Remember we seen in the book what that nigga Booker T. Washington writing his autobiography, Little Booker, praying to be delivered from slavery. Deliverance. You know what I'm saying? What do you seek? Deliverance. And then he was clad in rough and rugged garments. His head was bowed, his eyes blindfolded, and an iron chain was placed about his neck. His hands were fettered. Thenceforth, he donned these fetters when he attained meetings until he qualified for the second degree. This what they doing for the degree, nigga. Because you not living like this is no slave. This isn't a slave. If you a slave and they coming to get you, you know what I'm saying? They got to put all this shit on you. Put you in rough and rugged garments, blindfold niggas, iron chains was placed around his neck. His hands was fettered. He was donned with fetters when he attained meetings until he qualified for the second degree. You know what I'm saying? And then what image do we always see? And what did the nigga just say? Look, man, y'all got to see this shit, man. What did he say? Oh, yeah, John Brown, he a brother. I know he a brother. This is what this is, bro. Motherfuckers laughing in niggas' face. This what you see. This the abolition. 1835 poster. Am I not a man and a brother? This a ritual, man. This they doing rituals then, but now we exposing it. 1835. We just now figuring it out.
That shit crazy.
It's a ritual, bro. This all connect with the current times. You understand me, y'all?
Yeah,
it's the same shit. They doing a ritual. Whole time they got the gang working for them, man. What the fuck? Let's get back to it, man, because I'm gonna show you how it's worse, bro. It gets worse, unfortunately. We crushing idols over here, because at the end of the day, all this hero shit, bro, this ain't what we on, nigga. These ain't heroes. These niggas is idols, and we crush idols over here. I'm like Abraham. I'm crushing all the idols, and we gonna lead the biggest chief of the idols. We're not gonna crush him, and you could go ask that fucking statue who crushed all the rest of your idols. Let's see if he answered back. That's what Abraham did to his daddy and them. He went and crushed all the motherfucking idols, smashed everything. He left the chief of the idols, one statue sitting up there. And when they came and asked him, who smashed all these idols? Who did this? Abraham was like, shit, ask the chief idol. Ask him. They tell who y'all worshiping and praying to. You know what I'm saying? Ask that nigga who did it. They was pissed about that. See, that's what the Most High do with his chosen. He always make it so you could just give it to you simple. You know what I'm saying? Figure the shit out. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Hold on, man. Let me stop sharing for a minute. We're gonna need a roll-up intermission, y'all. Go and take your bathroom break. Because I said I was gonna make it quick, but we still got a little more heavy shit for you to deal with. You know what I'm saying? And we live.
Damn, bro, you gonna make me roll up another one, Aki.
Hey, man. What else we got to do if it ain't to elevate? You know what I'm talking about? We evolving right now. You hear me?
And peace be upon the prophet Abraham.
Peace be upon the prophet Abraham. Man. Straight up. That's what I'm saying.
Way.
Tribe way. Tribe. Let me get a tribe. You know what I'm saying? In the chat. If y'all still with me, y'all still woke. You know, we night hawking and skywalking above it all.
I love that story. That's one of my favorite stories, man.
Abraham the Jeep, man. And then they want to They see they want to line everything up with their little bullshit to make you think that it's all bullshit. No, you trying to play a part in some shit, nigga. You ain't got nothing to do with this. Don't try to, what they say, throw the baby out with the bathwater. Let's see what they talking about in the chat. This just an intermission, y'all. You know what I'm talking about? Check on the chat, man. Peace to everybody in the chat. Peace to the tribes, man. Love, light, and flight.
That shit was ill though, man. It put some shit in perspective.
Hold on. It's not. We ain't even all the way there yet, bro.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Fuck your head up, Hawk. That's why I gotta build up the suspense. You know what I'm saying? For the other people who watching it, when they watch it later, you know, they can be like, "Damn, man, fast forward." They probably gonna fast forward, but shit, fuck it. This shit crazy, bro. Like, man, I was reading this and I'm like, God damn, man. And the more I'm reading and I'm connecting these dots, and I'm just the way I had to bounce around these pages to connect it all. I'm like, man, I ain't gonna be editing all this shit. All the goddamn. Speaking of which, man, subscribe to the tribe, hit that like, comment.
Make me a moderator in the chat.
HawkTalkLive. You already know what it is. All right, I'm on it right now. Yeah. We're gonna keep bringing you, you know what I'm saying, that truth that ain't nobody exposing, that objective perspective. Big Hawkin. All praise due to the Most High for making us the most fly. We ain't taking no responsibility for none of this. Let me go to the control room. Hey. Y'all talking about it in the chat, man. Any questions, comments? Peace to Kiwanis, the Aborigine. Peace to Shem. Peace to Cape Fear. Peace to MJ. Peace to Nighthawk. Peace to Jason Johnson. Tribe. Peace to Empress Isha. Peace to Mark Walton. We still in here. All right, now check this out, man. Check these weirdo ass niggas out, man. The reporter gave these portions direct from Lambert's ritual. While an officer questioned him, asking what he sought, he answering deliverance. And then he was clad in rough and rugged garments. His head was bowed, his eyes blindfolded, and an iron chain was placed about his neck. His hands were fettered. Thenceforth, he donned these fetters when he attained meetings until he qualified for the second degree. Now, mind you, other niggas is seeing you out here like this, but you just doing one of them old Greek walks. Niggas like, what the fuck kind of weirdo shit going on? But a nigga chained up and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because this ain't how slaves was treated. Now this where we getting this imagery and all this shit. And at the same time, they indoctrinating everybody. You seeing these niggas being chained up like this. You know what I'm saying? And then the niggas who getting rank is being chained up like this. So everybody being fucking psychologically traumatized by this shit. You know what I'm saying? And they know it. You know what I mean? He's saying this second degree called the redeem, he must submit to the whip. Huh? Now listen now. Well, I thought these niggas want to give us our freedom. It's the abolitionist movement. These niggas is heroes, the Underground Railroad. In this second degree called the redeem, he must submit to the whip, hated symbol of slavery, and only then were his fetters removed. Let's see what this say, because it got 31. It got a reference. The Baptiste description, though brief, is much the same. The candidate was dressed as a fugitive, bound and blindfolded, kneeling before an altar. He took a solemn vow of secrecy and faith. The Baptiste account also names the degrees of redeemed and chosen, but is It describes the 5 stages somewhat differently. Each of these degrees had its signs, signals, grips, passes, and other rituals. The other order, whatever this might mean, was that of men of self-reliance, called the Legion. Its degrees were rulers, judges, or princes, chevaliers, knights. Also, as noted, the Baptiste story said the highest degree was called man of oppression. And now this the highest degree, but it's called man of oppression. So you know these niggas is with the fuck shit. So anyway, these niggas beating niggas. Before you get your freedom, you got to go through this ritual. So these niggas is not no fucking heroes, dog. And the old man about to die, so he's snitching on himself.
Fucking fraternity ass hazing.
Yeah, it's still this. That's how you can see, bro. It's 100 years later. The shit's still going on. So you can't act like this shit is not. You know what I'm saying? Where did all this come from? Where did African American come from? Where did hazing come from? So they put this shit into our shit. You know what I'm saying? They steal the degrees from the Indians and shit, and then they change this shit up, put their own little weird ass wickedness with it. You know what I'm saying? Make it their own way. Because see, we're going through rights, you know what I'm saying, the same way as tribes, but this is to elevate us, to strengthen us and all this shit. But they telling you that's what this shit is for, but it's to fucking brainwash you into submission to their system, into their format of rule. You know what I'm talking about? At least let a nigga have an open mind about how he handling this shit. You know what I'm saying? This shit deep, dog. All right, but let's finish up a little bit. It's a thenceforth, he donned these fetters when he attended meetings until he qualified for the second degree. And this second degree, called the redeemed, he must submit to the whip, hated symbol of slavery, and only then were his fetters removed. Finally, in Lambert's ritual, the highest degree, the chosen, had 5 stages within this degree: rulers, judges, princes, chevaliers of Ethiopia, sterling black knight, and knight of Saint Domingo. These last and highest stage, Lambert's interview stated, had a ritual of great length dealing with the principles of freedom and the authorities on revolution, revolt, rebellion, and government. Had a ritual of great length dealing with the principles of freedom and the authorities on revolution, revolt, rebellion, and government. To be accepted, the candidate must memorize this elaborate ritual. So you got to have this shit on cap. So you know you already being indoctrinated just because you got this memorized. And this shit just like being a 5%er, nigga. Shit, I was first born. You got to memorize this shit. You got to know it on cap. You know your degrees, nigga. And we'll take you to your next ones. You get your next degrees. That's how you know the hidden hand, my nigga. Listen to these people, man. Drag they nuts all on niggas' face like, pause. I'm just telling you, bro, they letting it be known because they talking in code and shit like, ha, 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 laughing these fucking idiots. The Grand Lodge of the Order was located in Detroit. Lambert was precise about where the building stood, on Jefferson Avenue between Bates and Randolph, about where number 202 now is. The fugitives were brought from Wayne and Ann Arbor, arriving near the lodge in dead of night. They and all those with them went through the test, and then were taken to the rendezvous, usually the house of J.G. Reynolds, another Negro agent in the Detroit area. Reynolds, Lambert said, had been sent by Levi Coffin, the well-known Quaker, head of the Underground Railroad in the West. This nigga name sound like fucking creep. Levi Coffin. He the head of the shit. He the big dog. Look at this fucking creepy ass motherfucker here. We gotta beat you first, boy. Gonna take real good care of you. Say he the unofficial president. Let's go to biography.com. I ain't even looked this fucking creep up. He look like he eat babies and shit. Oh man, we about to. Okay, here we go. Assisted thousands of runaway slaves on their flight to freedom. When Levi Coffin moved to Newport, Indiana, 1826, he discovered he was on a route on the Underground Railroad by which fugitives made their way to the South from the South to Canada. Coffin then made his home into a depot, and he funneled much of his wealth that he was acquiring as a prosperous merchant into hiring and then conveying more than 3,000 passengers on. He was getting paid, nigga. We know what was going on. They want to talk his goofy ass up. It's too late. The nigga snitch. Look, it's the ritual right here. I remember in art class, I can't remember what grade it was, but we had did a little metal working with the tin shit, and I thought I was too woke, my nigga, even as a little young nigga. And I remember making this man in my art class. You know what I'm saying? So I remembered it from the books and shit, and I always studied the Black history shit, like the Negro Almanac and all that. That's why when I said, I said, am I not a man, brother? What?
That's what's crazy.
Oh, I had enough. Let's finish this now. Now that he over here beating niggas and shit, it's part of the ritual. J.G. Reynolds, another Negro agent in the Detroit area. Reynolds, Lambert said, had been sent by Levi Coffin. Now they act like he's talking about, he had just discovered that he lived on the path of the Underground Railroad. He lived along the path. No, the fuck he didn't. He was over there getting to the bag. He's sending niggas. Hey, man, go. Reynolds, Lambert said, had been sent by Levi Coffin, the well-known Quaker, head of the Underground Railroad in the West. Oh, he just accidentally popped up. How the fuck he the president? Quaker. Now remember, he know all the passwords and shit. Reynolds at this time was employed by a company engaged in constructing the Michigan Central Railway. I shall return to Reynolds later in this account. One by one, the fugitives were slipped to Reynolds' house, where they were fed and sheltered and kept hidden. Our boats were concealed under the docks, Lambert said, and before daylight, we had everyone over. We never lost a man by capture at this point, so careful were we. And we took over as high as 1,600 in a year. Other rendezvous were sometimes used, and Lambert named several men the reporter would know, including white agents in the city. It was here that Lambert spoke of Alderman Finney and Finney's barn as a fugitive hiding place. One reference to the order has curious overtones. Richard Reef was mentioned in the Lambert interview. Reef, who at the Chapman Convention was given a high post in John Brown's organization and who disappeared just before Harper's Ferry, deliberately, some believe, deserting John Brown. Mr. Lambert, the reporter said at one point, there is among the poems of Richard Reef one that hints of the existence of the order whose ritual was filled with a marvelous imagery. Oh, you have seen that, have you? Lambert was delighted and confirmed the fact that Richard Reese had been a member, one of the few white men ever admitted to the order's highest degrees. So now this is the same nigga that when John Brown want to go run up on Harper's Ferry with the niggas with the guns and shit, you know what I'm saying? These niggas snitching. Oh yeah, we with you. Then they running off deserting them and shit because they really with the fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? Whole time. Some estimates were given of the number of fugitives aided. By 1859, Lambert told his interviewer the underground organization was so complete we could put through an invoice of freight by our own road from the Ohio River to the Lake Erie in 10 to 11 days. So here go that reference we already read in the article where he calling niggas freight. Invoice of freight, nigga. I don't give a fuck about you. I'm gonna chain you up, beat your motherfucking ass, nigga, before they take the chains off, sell you to a motherfucker. It's all types of wickedness going on. Conceivably, Lambert may have said something of this kind, but also the reporter cited figures on the size of the Negro secret order. The order, now this is the reporter talking, say the order using them, the rituals and degrees was composed of nearly 1 million Negroes in the United States and Canada, and further, over 60,000 colored men took the highest degrees. So here go, all these niggas was selling out, but they taking these niggas through a ritual. This is the assimilation. This is the whole thing. They brainwashing the shit out of niggas. You know what I'm saying? Patently, such estimates are fantastic and incredible. It seems highly improbable that Lambert made such claims. For one thing, he showed himself a well-informed man, and given the total of free Negroes in the nation, around 500,000 in 1860. 500,000. He would know such a figure made no sense. It may be the old man again indulged in dreaming of what might have been if the war had not come. And what we have here is a reporter's garbled renderings. Even so, these claims remain a stumbling block when it comes to an appraisal of this Negro secret order. A search, of course, was made for independent signs that the Negro secret order was known to other men. It is more than coincidence that the one mentioned found is an early biography of John Brown, given the connections allegedly existing between the order and John Brown's plans. Richard Hinton and John Brown and His Men, published in 1894, mentions William Lambert in his underground career and immediately thereafter writes of a League of Freedom. There existed something of an organization to assist fugitives, their resistance to their masters. It was found all along the lake borders from Syracuse, New York to Detroit, as none but colored men were admitted into direct and active membership with this League of Freedom. It was quite difficult to trace its workings or know how far its ramifications extended. And that's from John Brown and His Men, 1894. So he already know. A more important item Hinton placed in an appendix, an excerpt from a diary kept by George Gill, was another member of John Brown's company, and this entry, made in May 1858, was put down when Gill was returning from Chatham Convention, so that Gill was familiar with John Brown's plan. On my way back from Chatham, went to Cleveland by boat, decided to go up to Sandusky City to see Reynolds, a member of the convention. This was the same Reynolds named by Lambert as an active agent in the secret order. Let's see what he's talking about, man. I gotta read this shit fast because it's boring. Object in wishing to see Mr. Reynolds, who was a colored man, very little colored, however, was in regard to a military organization which I had understood was in existence among the colored people. He assured me that such was a fact and that it was a ramification. Hold on. So he's big snitching. He assured me that such was a fact and that its ramifications extended through most or nearly all the slave states. He himself, I think, had been through many of the slave states, visiting and organizing. He referred me to many references in the Southern papers telling of this and that favorite slave being killed or found dead. These, he asserted, must be taken care of, being the most dangerous elements they had to contend with. He also asserted that they were only waiting for Brown or someone else to make a successful initiative move when their forces would be put in motion. None but colored persons could be admitted to membership, and in part to corroborate his assertions, took me to a room in which they held their meetings and used an arsenal. He showed me a fine collection of arms. He gave me this under pledge of secrecy, which we gave each other at the Chatham Convention. On my return to Cleveland, he, Reynolds, passed me through the organization, first to J.J. Pierce, colored, at Millard, who paid my bill overnight at the Eagle Hotel and gave me some money, and a note to E. Moore at Norwalk, who in turn paid my hotel bill and purchased a railroad ticket through to Cleveland. So these niggas really on some motherfucking, what is that shit called? It's just these niggas is fucking slave masters. They good as fucking slave masters, dog. Hinton called the order League of Freedom, and Lambert and de Baptiste used different names. We might make a case for what secrecy does and how confusion may breed on rumors afloat, and different names appear to describe the unknown. Gill, quoting Reynolds, described the aims of the order in quasi-military terms, something neither Lambert nor de Baptiste hinted of. Yet it is something that Gill had heard of a Negro order and that he had met other men who claimed they belonged. Lambert and de Baptiste in their reminiscence insisted that their order was meant to serve John Brown's plans. In weighing their vague yet definite claim, we are obliged to wonder how much of these were dreams and how much may have had some substance behind them. In de Baptiste's account, a certain cipher is mentioned, allegedly used by John Brown. See, this is the shit I was telling y'all about earlier. They say in de Baptiste's account, a certain cipher is mentioned, allegedly used by John Brown in communicating with the Negro secret order. The reporter in 1870 stressed the fact that the key to this cipher lies before us as we write, presumably a paper he had been furnished by de Baptiste. During John Brown's operation, the officers of these invisible leagues invented and used an ingenious telegraphic cipher, both for telegraphic dispatches and for correspondence upon matters of moment. The key to this cipher lies before us as we write, and it shows an ingenuity which rendered detection extremely difficult, if not impossible. Yet these dispatches had to pass through the hands of telegraphic operators and be sent over the wires in an intelligible form. So they got to send this shit over where it's being seen by the operators, and it's got to look like something normal. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, they got to be able to communicate to each other. So these niggas in this secret society is giving John Brown the whole operation. Like, okay, this how we gonna do it. This the codes we gonna use. This, because this what they do. It said, evidently, the telegraph operators would suspect something wrong if a message appeared strange, and suspicion might lead to investigation to discovery. But a dispatch from Detroit to Cleveland saying, we send 100 hoes, long, number 1 by bar, and tell John, would excite no suspicion. Translated, this would mean we send 100 men by rail with rifles, telegraphed to John Brown Jr. Lambert told a story of his first meeting with John Brown. No doubt too specific to trust the details from a man of 71 reaching back 30 years, although when he says, from the moment we were firm as friends, and he stopped with me at my house, then in the western part of the city, it seems reasonable to think this much could be remembered. Lambert showed the reporter many letters from John Brown and one from from Brown's wife telling of the execution. Lambert spoke a good deal of John Brown, the man, and related various tales of how John Brown brought fugitives to Detroit on the underground lines. See, these niggas betrayed John Brown. It said when it came to the part of the order was to play in aid of John Brown, the Baptiste account was more definite than was Lambert's. This is his account. It says the object of the John Brown raid at Harper's Ferry was not, as had been supposed, to incite insurrection in the South. It was designed as a vast immigration scheme to lead the slaves of Virginia to Canada in organized bodies. So all this shit is a scam. The whole attack is a scam. These niggas organizing it in the background to move you to do something else, bro. This is what they do. They doing this shit in the 1800s, bro. You niggas think y'all hip? The object of, now he telling though. He's 71, he's snitching. Niggas fucking with his conscience probably. You know how the Most High work. Says the object of John Brown's raid at Harper's Ferry was not, as had been supposed, to incite insurrection in the South. It was designed as a vast immigration scheme to lead the slaves of Virginia to Canada in organized bodies, partially armed by companies and regiments in such masses that the ordinary machinery of the fugitive slave law could neither stop them nor dare interfere with their march. The first step was the organization throughout the North of secret societies, the whole known as the Order of Immigration. The highest degree was the men of oppression. May this explain the name Order of Immigration? Could the name have been a new one in the John Brown years, replacing the original name Lambert gave the one that was found in his sheet-bound books? Yet not once did Lambert call it Order of Immigration, a baffling omission for a man of such good memory. Lambert likewise implied, if the reporter understood him, that the order was meant to play an important part. It was from this body, these words were the reporters, that John Brown took on the task of raiding Harper's Ferry. In 1860, Richard Reef, who Lambert said had been a member of the order, testified before the Mason Committee of the Congress appointed to investigate the Harper's Ferry raid. So this COINTELPRO, nigga, 1800s. You know what I'm saying? You niggas better wake up, man. Pay attention what the fuck going on out here, man. Yeah, sheet-bound books. You know what I'm saying? In 1860, Richard Reef, who Lambert said had been a member of the order, testified before the Mason Committee of the Congress appointed to investigate the Harper Ferry raid. Reef told him in some detail what John Brown had planned. As Captain Brown had revealed it at the Chatham meeting, John Brown had expected Negroes to be his soldiers, Reese said, and not alone slaves. Although John Brown believed slaves would rise against their masters and join him in the mountains, but also Reese said John Brown expected that all free Negroes in the northern states would immediately flock to his standard. Was this an expectation shared by Lambert and de Baptiste? So John Brown, he thinking niggas ready for the jump off. You know what I'm saying? But all this shit is a trick. Even that, you know what I'm saying? They got every nigga making different moves, and motherfuckers ain't got enough rank to know the secrets. You know what I'm saying? This shit is still going on, bro. So that's why I be telling people, man, y'all be careful about what y'all be speculating about as far as shit on the internet and all that, man. Like, I damn near, if it wasn't for y'all, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, on everything, like anybody who this touch, anybody who grow from this and learn from this, like if it wasn't for you, you know what I'm saying? Really the Most High, because that's who compelled me to do it. But I know that it need to be done. But man, I would straight disconnect from this internet, man. This shit weird, bro. Motherfucker argue down about some shit that's a meme. Nigga, you ain't read nan book. You know what I'm saying? These niggas don't even read the whole book. Nigga go get a book and search the word Indian and read whatever the fuck it say. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't even know what the hell going on. But anyway, this the big picture over here, man. Big Hawkin, man. Big Hawkin. Let me get some pound sign. Big Hawkin tribe in the chat or something, man. Let them know that we all. You know what I'm talking about? We all up here, man, in these same friendly skies. It said, it's one thing to think that Lambert and DeBaptiste knew John Brown, perhaps knew him well. It is something else again to find substance in their beliefs that the Negro Secret Order was to play a definite part once John Brown had launched his blow against the South. Lambert certainly knew of the John Brown plans. One may feel some skepticism as he reads the old man's claim. It was after we got the railway running well that I took part in more general work. I framed the call and issued it that brought together the Chatham Convention, which organized the John Brown raid. So these niggas organizing the raid and then throwing John Brown under the motherfucking bus. You know what I'm saying? Because they got to hire up. You know what I'm talking about? You know, Levi Coffin, he's selling niggas out, you know, or not selling niggas out, sending niggas out. He say Levi Coffin sent the nigga to Quaker. And man, go what. He got them all at their house, whipping niggas and shit. Dude, do you want to be redeemed? The fuck kind of weirdo shit is going on, dog? Same shit they be doing to these niggas at the motherfucking university. Are you a brother? Bend over and let me spank that ass. The hell? Big brother Dean Almighty looking ass nigga. So these niggas snitching. They say, but Lambert was a member of the Chatham Convention. His name is on the list of Negroes present as the list is given in Villard's John Brown. It is possible he knew more than many who were there, since W.C. Monroe, the Negro clergyman who presided throughout the years since the 1840s, had been a friend and co-worker of Lambert's in Detroit. So all the little church niggas and shit, they all with the fuck shit too. In a sense, the question of what Lambert believed about the hoped-for part of the secret order was to play is as vague and elusive as was much else touching the John Brown venture. At one point, Lambert put the secret order's aim this way: when the highest ranks of the order were reached, then the full attention of the order was first learned. The general plan was freedom. If by this Lambert meant the initiates learned of John Brown's plan, small wonder this full attention was reserved for the few men who attained the highest ranks. Yet, of course, Lambert may not have meant this at all. He may have merely had in mind the secret order's general aim as a branch of the overall Underground Railroad to bring ever larger numbers of escaped slaves out of their bondage into free territory. We know that's hijack bullshit. This assumes that a Negro secret order was formed and the case for its existence seems a reasonably good one. What cannot be established is how extensive it was and whether it reached out from Detroit and beyond, and how much of its description reflects accomplished fact and how much is little more than the memory of vague plans. All right, what we know now is because this lady dead and gone, and this shit is still popping. Where was this other shit I seen where the nigga was snitching at, man? George DeBaptiste was a prominent conductor on the Underground Railroad in India, Detroit, Michigan, 1840. He served as a valet and then White House steward for U.S. President William Henry Harrison. And that's another thing. He the valet for this white boy president. You know what I'm saying? This kind of job he had. Now, let's not forget that the president is supposed to come up dead like 33 days into his presidency. And because of that, it voided out a whole bunch of treaties that fucked us over with some land shit. Now, this the nigga who with him. You know what I'm saying? Or is that other shit? Other weirdo shit I had seen. What's that shit at? See, they got big plaques for these niggas and everything. Not even knowing that these niggas chaining you up, selling you, beating you and shit for your freedom. Look, DeBaptiste began to work more closely with his former comrade, William Lambert. They were both members of the Order of the Men of Oppression, Order of Emancipation, groups which fought slavery and raised money to aid fugitives. This bullshit. Look at this shit right here. activism extended much further than working as a conductor. He was an occasional correspondent to various anti-slavery journals, including the North Star and the Liberator. He also played a role in the larger national abolitionism movement on Mark 12. That's how you know this bullshit. On March 12, 1859, John Brown, Frederick Douglass, William Lambert, and De Baptiste met at William Webb's house to discuss emancipation. De Baptiste proposed that conspirators blow up some of the South's largest churches. The suggestion was opposed by Brown, who felt humanity precluded such unnecessary bloodshed before emancipation. De Baptiste had a $1,000 reward for his head in Kentucky. Senator James Murray Mason was the head of the investigating committee against Brown. After Brown's insurrection, capture, and hanging, my nigga, look how they played their homeboy. That's why you hear the old man in the article when he's 70 talking about John Brown like he was so fucking great. Remember early in the video, for the people, you know what I'm saying, who just tuned in, you might have to rewind. He dick riding the shit out of this nigga because they know he's responsible for his death. These niggas know because they told on him. Mason attempted to subpoena a John De Baptiste, later changed to George De Baptiste, and probably the same George. The Detroit sheriff tasked with serving the warrant wrote to the committee, because he a Mason too now. Knowing the cast and character of De Baptiste, my first impression on receiving the summons was that if Senator Mason knew the facts, he would not desire the summons to be served, even if I should find De Baptiste here. If De Baptiste were summoned, there is no probability that he would obey, and the summons was never served. He got the pass. We know why he got a pass, right? And then where did these niggas get? Where they at? After the war, in the late 1860s, De Baptiste worked with the Freedmen's Bureau. There you go, Indians. You can get up to date. So let's do this real quick. This shit is heavy, man. I got too many tabs open, probably. These nigga Oklahoma Masonic Society. These niggas got on the same goddamn shit as. Got on the same oh, this little ass picture. What them niggas got on? You know what they got on, right? I go your homeboy Albert Park. You know what them niggas got on. Seen that outfit before. Seen that outfit before, haven't you? All this shit go together. See that right there? So much to this bullshit. Go too far back. I think I did. There go that star that's on. It's just right there. Order of the Knights Templar. I ain't gonna be promoting all this bullshit. This what they on, man. In hand. You go through all them pictures. Andrew Johnson. Getting ham. They know. We might say he fixing his sweater. But ain't no nigga posing like that for no motherfucking painting. Goofy ass, half a homo ass nigga here. Shit everywhere, bro. Matter of fact, why I got y'all while we on this subject. Oh, man. That's not what I want. But these motherfuckers know they be thinking they slick. It'll spin you, man, if you don't know what you're looking for. Where's that picture? What? Here it go, right here. Bam. Uh-oh, where's the picture? Where's the picture? The picture. That's the right picture. Who in the chat know what that picture? What's the exact? Because it's a date that go with that picture for you to pull it up. 1923. The nigga got his hand all in his pocket in there. What they say before they kill Malcolm? Get your hand on my pocket. They got their hand all in their pocket. Stop sharing. So y'all ain't gotta be looking at that shit. Some crazy shit, man. Let me pull up this picture, man. We're gonna handle it up as soon as I can find it.
Little soul going crazy.
Don't forget to hit that like, man. Comment, subscribe. Tribe. And if you're really feeling friendly, Cash App link is in the description. Support the channel. Support the growth of the channel. Y'all know I'm over here working. You know what I'm talking about? We're just trying to do it a little bigger. Better cameras. Better mics. Want to get the live going in. Let me find this clamp, man. Looking in the background. Where he at? The hidden hand. So now we know where the term African American really comes from. Now we know where it really comes from. All you gotta do is look. You wanna hide something from a nigga, put it in the book. That's what they thought, right? And know we was hawks. I was supposed to be making you a moderator. I don't know how to do this shit. Hold on. Hey. About to pull up this picture, man. We got some more. Fuck it. We got some more. Oh, I forgot to even show y'all this video. How long is that? 3 minutes? Fuck it. Whoever up, you obviously up. You obviously insomniac gang. You know what I'm talking about? Sleep is for the weak. Let's see what we got. I'm getting it together right now. Hey. Where I got? So now y'all know what really be happening. And the same shit going on. The system of control. You know what I'm talking about? We ain't gonna let y'all go out like that, man. I don't know. I'll watch. All right, you a moderator. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. As you can see, we over here big studying for the sake of us. Here go the photo. The intriguing Narragansett and Wampanoag image from 1925. It's very intriguing. Where is he at? Yeah, it's very intriguing because it's at a motherfucking Masonic Hall, for one. Shit don't stop, bro. They separate niggas from who they are, man. For the most high. Fake religion. Infiltration. See that right there? You see where they at, right? And all these niggas here go a nice photo for these Pan-African ass niggas. 1925. powwow Algonquin Indians. You see it. You see it. Hey, get y'all a little music going. We don't want nobody going to sleep. Even though this is more night ass music. Let's see what else we got. Hopefully they don't play no bogus ass commercial. I want to pull up a couple more photos for y'all to check out. Actually, man, we need to cut the bullshit and get straight to this. Then we'll end it on that, man. And you can see, because I ain't with all that checkerboard shit, man. I'm not no pawn. You ain't going to put me on no chessboard. You ain't going to move me how you want to move me. None of that. You know what I'm talking about? It ain't going to go like that. Mama didn't raise no fools, man. Now they won't play this dumbass commercial on my shit. So we gonna mute that. Let's find this picture real quick. I want to show y'all something else. See how it just continues and continues and continues. Where is he at? Where are you hiding? Where you hiding? Look at this, man. Let's just go through this. Let's just screen share this whole thing, man, so they can see what their ancestors look like, man. Look at these pictures, man. These people right here. These people right here. Y'all see what these Indians look like? No disrespect. I'm starting to learn so much. I feel bad for saying Indian. Peace to the tribes. Peace to Chief Cisco. Look at them G's. Look at bro with his arms folded, with his headdress. Look at these sisters, bro. Look at these people, bro. Boys look like niggas in Halloween if you didn't know that these was real life so-called American Indians. Reclassified to Negroes. Infiltrated by niggas talking about some African American mystery ass shit. Disconnecting you from your source, from the Most High. You see how they dressing, you know what I'm saying? But they still, you know, still being infiltrated. Look at these people, man. These Indians, bro. What is y'all talking about, bro? What is the argument about, bro? If you want to be from somewhere else, that's cool. But there's plenty niggas over here already, bro. Take a look. Look at great granny right here, bro. Shout out to her because she mugging like, don't want no smoke with her. Look at that, bro. Look at that, bro. Reclassified as Negro. Indians. Yeah, you see, he got his bullhorns on. He on his real Hebrew shit. Look at bro eyes. Talking to us. So speaking. Look at bro eyes, man. Look at these Indians, bro. This is who I'm telling the truth for. This is who I'm telling who infiltrated us. They didn't need no abolitionists, nigga. Abolitionists, however the fuck. They didn't need one. They didn't want one. They didn't want to go to Canada. And this is what I'm talking about right here. Look at this fuck boy right here. You see that? I want to put my hand right in his fucking forehead, mash him in his fucking forehead. Because he right in the middle of our shit. Look. In the hand. See what I'm talking about? Let's see if we can get close up of his fuck boy ass. Look at these. I see why motherfuckers looking so different now. And this white motherfucker pop up. Now look. We remember her from the other picture. But look how everybody else, what they doing. Look at this motherfucker back here with his hat on. It don't look like he's supposed to be in the picture, bro. He definitely is on some fuck shit. See what I'm talking about? Shit ain't new. Ah, man. Guess we're gonna end it on that note. Hopefully we all learn something, man. And y'all learn to stop, you know what I mean? Speculating about all this shit that being publicized and shit, man. Don't put your energy into that, man. You find yourself all on your Facebook, all on your Twitter, getting wrapped up in shit, going back and forth with motherfucking about idle ass conversations, bro. Just put your phone down, man, and goddamn go outside. You know what I'm saying? And just look at the trees and look at the clouds, man. You know what I'm saying? Not so much as a single leaf falls from a tree, and the Most High is not the accountant of it. You know what I'm talking about? So on that note, man, you already know what it is. Love, light, and flight. Talking about above it all. Stay hawking, stay woke. Till next time. Peace to the tribes.
No soul going crazy. Motherfucker, ain't no corrupt communication came out of my mouth. You know what the corrupt communication is? That's when you talk about the devil. He the devil. Your motherfucking communication is corrupted. Whatever, then I'm wrong. You got me now. You got me now. You figured me out. You fucking income fucking poop. You figured me out. You got me red-handed. I can't see none of you publishing piece.
Hit that like.
What you talking about?
Reshare.
Like my class the other day, wouldn't it really?
Who name you coming in? By who power? Is what? It's the Spirit of God. See, the Spirit of God is omnipotent, and it works on you. It'll work on your ass, and I can be far, far away, because it's considered conscience, you know. They ain't feeling my. I keep it all lawful and legal. Anybody resisting, goddamn my ass kissing. Man, no matter how you come with me, if you down doing what I'm talking about doing, lawyers and get this book open, trained in these words to get the poor, the fatherless, and the widows up out of them penitentiaries. If you down with that? You ain't down with that? Shut your goddamn ass up. Give me a next caller. Motherfucker, ain't no corrupt communication came out of my mouth. You know what the corrupt communication is? That's when you talk about the devil. He the devil. Your motherfucking communication is corrupted. Whatever, then I'm wrong. You got me now. You got me now. Oh, you figured me out. You fucking income fucking poop. You figured me out. You got me red-handed. I can't see none of you publishing piece. Fuck what you talking about.
Like I told my class the other day, wouldn't it really be so different if you came to this class out of a desire to learn? You know, just out of the pure desire to learn, and that we didn't relate to each other as student and teacher, but as people sharing knowledge and information.
Mrs. Danvers and like, what? I told you that George Washington was a white racist. What? Well, he was, Mama. He owned slaves. I said something to my teacher, Mrs. Danvers, and like, what? I told her that George Washington was a white racist. What?
What he was, Mama, he owned slaves.
You come off calling the father of our country a racist. Where'd you pick up such trash?
In the library. In the book. In the library. In the book. In the library. In the book.
In the library. In the book. In the book. In the library. In the book. In the book. In the book. In the book.
I'm just telling it like it is. I'm just telling it like it is. I'm just telling it like it is. I'm just telling it like it is.
He's a great man. He was our first president.
He wasn't our president. He was their president. He wasn't our president. He was their president. He was their president. He was their president. He was their president.
How many people recall that I've repeated this time and time again? That the function of education is not jobs. That is not the primary function. Children and people are educated. The primary function for education is to advance the interests of a people and to protect their interests, to secure their survival. Their survival. To secure their survival.
With the fire water and, you know.
Are you an Indian?
Yes. Oh, really?
Oh,
I thought you were a black guy. Hey.
Are you an Indian?
Yes. Oh, really?
Oh,
I thought you were a black guy.